hospital. The Inspector General of Chicago Public Schools, whose investigations have led to removal of 2 former CEOs, faces scrutiny himself this morning for allegedly berating employees. Sun-Times reports that major complaints about Nicholas Schuler have led the school board to hire an outside firm to investigate. Mayor appoints the Inspector General to a 4-year term. The Illinois State Board of Elections says about 4,700 underage teens were almost registered to vote. Secretary of State's office forwarded the information of the 16-year-olds to the Board of Elections, where a filter may have caught that error and shut down the process. Officials believe the error came from teens getting their driver's licenses and accidentally registering to vote using the automatic system. The days of winning a goldfish as a prize at the county fair or festival near you may soon be over in Illinois if one suburban lawmaker gets her way. The suburban Chicago State senator wants to outlaw live animals as prizes. Senator Susie Hilton says she believes it's cruel to animals. She says carnivals, fairs, and festivals shouldn't be able to traffic in live animals. Chicago sports, Andres Feliz dropped 17 off the bench. The 19th-ranked Illinois fell short in a 72-65 loss at number 18 Iowa. Bulls were outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors in Toronto. Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54.
He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. I don't think he needed the Lombardi Trophy to prove that, but just to do that, I mean, it puts all doubt aside, and he's going to be listed as one of the all-time great coaches in history. Chiefs
quarterback Patrick Mahomes saying it solidifies Andy Reid as one of the best ever. Webb Simpson, 1 stroke better than Tony Finau in a playoff to win the Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale. The Crosby Clam Bake is next at Pebble Beach. The news service of La Quinta by Wyndham. Celebrate a victory away from home with La Quinta. Wake up winning with Brightside Breakfast, including waffles, fruit, and oatmeal, and always get access to free high-speed Wi-Fi tonight. La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph. Book direct at LQ.com. 5:07 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager calls the impeachment what it is.
Barack Obama delineated a number of the things that could have easily led to his impeachment. Of course, had it happened, the press would have screamed so loudly in unison, they would call it a coup. That's exactly what is being attempted here. A coup. That is it's a legal coup, but it's a coup.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, then you need to call Team Hochberg. Today, meet Don and Claire living in a $400,000 home in Chicago. Team Hochberg loan officer Kevin Kochman helped Don and Claire secure their mortgage when they purchased their home in 2015 with 5% down. Property values are up and rates are down, so Kevin helped them refinance, remove their PMI, and save them over $260 a month. Let's review. Team Hochberg helped Don and Claire secure a mortgage in 2015 with only 5% down and just refinanced their home, removed their private mortgage insurance, and saved them over $3,000 a year. If you'd like to remove your PMI and substantially reduce your monthly payment, call Team Hochberg now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg helped Don and Claire as well as thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial Legal Housing Lender, MLS 1124061.
Are you plagued by persistent floaters in your vision? Floaters are the moving cobwebs, strands, or veils seen when you look at a computer screen or a light color background. They range in size and shape from tiny dots to large veils and vary in severity from a minor annoyance to a substantial visual impairment. There is now a safe and effective treatment to eliminate persistent visual floaters called YAG vitriolysis. It's covered by most health insurance companies. Very few eye surgeons perform this procedure. Dr. Harry Bernstein of the Elgin Eye Clinic is an expert in evaluating and treating eye floaters with a laser specifically designed to eliminate floaters. This brief and painless procedure is performed right in the office. If you're bothered by significant floaters, call Dr. Bernstein now to schedule a free floater evaluation. Call 636-535-2020. That's 535-2020 or schedule online at elgineye.com. That's Elgin, E-Y-E, elgineye.com.
Upwork has the world's largest network of proven independent professionals, and I have an alphabetical list of them. Accountants, administrative assistants, animators, architects. You get the point. When you need in-demand talent on demand, Upwork is how.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
5:10, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. On this Monday morning, here's Jim Talamonte.
I-57 remains blocked this morning between Sibley and the Cal-Sag Channel due to a major crash and ongoing investigation. The entrance from Sibley to inbound I-57 is closed as well. Outbound, everything is open. There's a major wreck in Yorkville. This is closing Cornelius Road, both directions, between Beecher and near Bridge Street, which is 47 in Yorkville. There's a light pole down that is blocking the roadway. Lincolnwood, northbound Cicero, lanes blocked near Toohey due to an earlier fuel spill. Elsewhere, it's fairly quiet on this Monday morning, where there may be some sluggish drivers after the Super Bowl last night. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy with a high near 42. Clouds, rain or snow shower in spots. Breezy late tonight, low 30. Snow tomorrow morning, little or no accumulation. Clouds and breezy otherwise, the high 33. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
33 at O'Hare, 36 Lakefront, 32 Midway, 28 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
Is a home renovation on your New Year's resolution list? It's hard to know who you can trust when remodeling your home. How can you tell if you're going to get your dream project or become one of those bad remodeling stories? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be painful. If you're nervous about home remodeling, Advanced Design is the company to call to overcome your fears. Providing positive remodeling experiences for nearly 30 years, their common sense remodeling, design, and build process makes remodeling predictable, averting delays and preventing budget overruns to produce a rewarding remodeling experience. So if 2020 includes a new kitchen or bath, a finished basement, or a much-needed addition to your home, make this the year you get the home of your dreams without the headache. Visit the team at AdvancedDesignStudio.com to learn more. That's AdvancedDesignStudio.com or call 847-836-2600. That's 847-836-2600.
America has a retirement crisis. 10,000 people turn 65 every day with alarmingly little savings. Company pensions are a thing of the past, and 401k plans are riddled with fees and expenses. We're living longer, so our retirement savings need to last longer. And these record low interest rates are virtually punishing savers, forcing many people to take on far too much risk in the stock market. So what can you do to help ensure you don't become another statistic of this crisis? The answers are in a free educational workshop with Tom Fortino, featured expert on Fox Business, Forbes, and the host of the Alpha Wealth Hour heard on AM 560. Learn about the 5 major threats to your retirement, creating lifetime income, and the Social Security decision, plus tax-free strategies to help make the IRS a smaller partner in your retirement, and how to pass along more wealth to the people you love. Seats are available in multiple locations throughout Chicagoland. Visit alphawealthgroup.com and click on the Classes tab to reserve your free seats now. alphawealthgroup.com.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Retire Chicago. Tune in Saturday mornings at 8 to Retire Chicago with John McNamara of McNamara Capital.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and big night last night for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs are Super Bowl champions here in Miami as they win it here in Super Bowl 54.
Hail to the Chiefs and to Pat Mahomes, who's a special player. I think we're going to be hearing a lot from over the next
Why, because
decade.
the Bears passed on him?
Well.
And took Mitch Trubisky or whatever. I can't even say his name right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, there's that. The comeback in the fourth quarter, what Kansas City does.
Is being down 10 in the playbook, in the playoffs or something? What's going on here?
No, it's definitely not. We just like to make it a little difficult, it seems like now. But I think the biggest thing is these guys around me, man, their belief, it's amazing. On that sideline, down 10 in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, every single guy believed we were going to win.
And then Coach Andy Reid, Chiefs finally getting it done, Super Bowl title for him. And I like it because he celebrates very much like Coach O down at LSU.
I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Prime, the biggest one. And might be a double.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was a great game.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G, grew up right around the corner. And they kept showing, get to know Patrick Mahomes. And they had an ad. His dad played for the Minnesota Twins for 11 seasons. And Did Jimmy G, did you see that for him? His dad was a plumber, union members, hardworking family. Did you see that? No. Bias Bolje. That's what that is.
Well.
No, come on. I mean, celebrate hardworking Americans who are union members and who, well, they didn't celebrate him. They didn't have a get-to-know Jimmy Garoppolo segment. He went to Eastern Illinois. In high school, he was a linebacker, and then senior year, he became a quarterback, and then got a scholarship, full ride to Eastern. Did they mention that? No. It's a little biased.
Yeah, well, I understand. It's nice for you to, protect the home front.
Well, I didn't think. I mean, they were ahead by 10 points with 7 minutes left in the game. Like Peyton and Eli, this is over, and then they came back and they scored the, 31-20.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. The Chiefs won.
Yeah.
But Pat, I mean, he's the first.
Jimmy G's
third African American.
Jimmy G's a decent quarterback in a very good system.
Yes.
Pat Mahomes is special. And it's just a different league. And that comeback, which is not uncustomary for him, just spoke to that. And, of course, the 3rd and 15, pass to Tyreek Hill, turned it all around. And as usual.
Did they get the down?
As usual, yeah, they got the down. As usual, if you just listen to me.
Yes.
You make a little bit of money.
Oh, that's right. I should have listened to you. I didn't listen to you.
Now, of course, the game within the game, with probably, 50% of the people watching the Super Bowl at least really care about are the commercials and the halftime show. Let's start with the halftime show.
Yeah, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. It was old ladies out night. Shakira, 43, J-Lo, 50.
That's 93 years of backside. The halftime show.
A lot of booty shaking going on. A little uncomfortable watching it in front of my boys, but then she whipped out the 44,000 feathered Puerto Rican flag, but thank goodness there was an American flag on the other side. And
J-Lo, that is.
J-Lo did, yes. And
I
sang with her daughter. But that's after she started with the Hustler-themed movie, which is riding the pole. And she could ride a pole. But, I called my mom, like, Mom, I don't remember you riding a pole when you were 50. She's like, no, Amy, I was in bowling, the Mount Prospect Bowling League.
Can you, Justin, can you clip riding a pole, and we'll use that later.
Well, whose 50-year-old mom is riding a pole, okay? I mean, what was your mom doing when she was 50? Not that, right?
No.
Nope. Anybody's mom riding a pole
Or
out there.
earlier in life.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Right.
I
mean,
thought-
she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. And she's very talented and limber. But what did you think?
I thought Shakira's hips were fibbing a bit. And I also thought J-Lo got into A-Rod's private stash of juice. That's what I thought. I think J-Lo's hat size is the same as Barry Bonds's.
Oh.
That was my sort of takeaway from that spectacle at halftime.
And they're saying that some conservatives thought it was too much, but Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio came out and said they, thought the performance was fine. I mean, it had a Latino theme. It was in Miami, yada yada.
I always look for artistic criticism from Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio. So if it passes muster with them, I mean, especially in the world of dance, which is really their forte, Jeb and Marco.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
These conversations be
Who likes to
dumber.
have guacamole on the weekend?
I don't know. Was that halftime show okay? I don't know. Somebody find Marco Rubio. See what he thinks.
From Florida.
I'm aware, but what does that have to do with anything?
And then President Trump.
By Florida standards, by Miami standards, this is acceptable.
Trump tweeted, "Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on a great game and a fantastic comeback under immense pressure. You represented the great state of Kansas, and in fact, the entire USA. So very well. It's in Missouri, not Kansas."
312-642-5600, Turnkey.Pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.Pro text line. Now, we played a number of the more memorable, to the extent there are any memorable Super Bowl ads last week. They leaked them out, and we got them, and we played them for you. But, seeing them in real time during the game, it's a different experience. You're elbow deep in dip and having a good time with friends. So give us your impressions of your favorite Super Bowl ad. Now, let's start with the political, since we've already heard from Marco Rubio and Jeb on the matter.
Thank you.
Trump, we played the one Trump ad that was released prior to the Super Bowl, but there was a second one that was a secret ad that was only released when it aired, and it was this one.
I'm free to hug my family. I'm free to start over. This is the greatest day of my life. My heart is just bursting with gratitude. I want to thank President Donald John Trump. Woo! Thank you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
And, of course, that was Alice Johnson, who was pardoned by Trump, and this is all part of a criminal justice reform effort.
Right. She was sent to jail for nonviolent crime for selling drugs.
But, I mean, she was really selling drugs. It wasn't like a one-off. She was really selling drugs. But anyway, this is a woman whose record was championed by Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was just it's an interesting choice for Trump for a national audience, for Trump to pick the issue of criminal justice reform. And I thought it juxtaposed nicely with Bloomberg's effort to talk about gun violence, which is mainly in urban centers, but certainly in part targeted to suburban audience. Didn't you think that of all the things he could have talked about, he had the other ad that talked about how the economy is doing.
I saw that one.
But there's still other. He could have gone national security. He could have done
building the wall.
He could have done something on immigration policy. Yeah, right. He could have done a lot of things. He chose criminal justice reform to make an overture to the same urban voter that Bloomberg is trying to persuade with gun control. And to the same suburbanites that Bloomberg is trying to persuade with gun control. I thought it was an interesting choice. I thought it was a good choice.
Me too.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Transferring paper files to digital used to be complicated and expensive. Data and document capture had many IT layers involved. It was expensive, time-consuming, and labor-intensive. Not anymore, thanks to the Alaris Infuse Smart Connected Scanning Solution from Kodak Alaris and IDT. The Alaris Infuse solution makes data and document capture easy, and it's powered by Capsys Capture Online. Within a matter of minutes, you'll be able to accurately and reliably onboard content with instant notification of data data issues, making the entire capture process smarter and more efficient. IDT can show you how to onboard content and make point of origin capture simple with the Alaris Infuse solution.
Relieve the burden of managing and maintaining business systems with IDT, helping your business keep pace with the evolution of information production and management. Set up a consultation today. Visit ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com or call 877-SCAN-IDT. IDT, putting paper in its place.
The American economy remains strong. Both business owners and employees are enjoying the benefits. Here at AM 560, we want to celebrate businesses that are thriving. Are you a business owner who's part of this great American success story? If so, we want to hear from you. Once again, we're taking the show on the road, and we'll be broadcasting from Chicagoland businesses enjoying success as they serve their customers and clients through the hard work of their employees. We want to hear your story, share your success, and find out what makes your business run. It's the Signature Bank Business Tour. To submit your business for consideration, just go to bankbusinesstour.com. That's bankbusinesstour.com. And we might be broadcasting from your business in the near future.
This is Attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Balance of nature? Yes, people ask me all the time, do you really take balance of nature? Yes, I do. And why I do it is because I don't get enough fruits and veggies in my diet. And I'm honest about that. So with 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. And again, you hear stories right here on this station all the time about how people's lives have dramatically changed. But your story could be next. But you have to order Balance of Nature today. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself and make 2020 a year of better health. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today. Call 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and talking a little bit about the Super Bowl. Good news for Richard Sherman, San Francisco 49ers quarterback. He doesn't have to worry about being invited to the White House.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because he was going to go to the White House if the 49ers won. Well, now he doesn't have to worry about that. Congratulations
something
to
else
him.
that, and I don't know if you saw this, but Demi Lovato, she performed a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Oh, I think she's an amazing singer. I was so proud of her because she's been in rehab and now she's back, Dan. I know you're concerned.
Oh, yes.
But TMZ Sports caught this. Beyonce, Jay-Z, who's a big partner of the league now, sat down during the national anthem, did not stand up. And their little daughter, Blue Ivy, was sitting down, too. It's very strange. Their bodyguard stood up.
Daughter's name is Blue Ivy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They want to be unique.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So
That's
I don't...
all dilettantes do.
Yeah, so it's just, I thought it was so disrespectful. Like, look what as Americans and America has done for you as a couple and how so successful you are, and you're part owner of this NFL league.
They were
and you're
channeling
sitting
Colin
down.
Kaepernick. Channeling Colin Kaepernick.
Now they
Somebody
didn't
has
take a
to.
knee. They didn't take a knee, but they stayed seated.
Yeah, and
Very strange.
And that PETA ad, you see the PETA ad? The ad that PETA wanted to run with all the cartoon animals taking a knee while the Star Spangled Banner was playing over it. That didn't run, but it tells you something about PETA. It was end speciesism. I mean, PETA's out of their fracking gourds. One of my favorite ads, Jason Momoa, from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I never watched Game of
Thrones. What else is he? Well, Aquaman.
Oh, yeah.
Jason
when he
Momoa.
took off his muscles and...
Yeah.
And then started lifting, and his wife, and he couldn't even hold the bar's weight.
That was funny, but
It was creepy.
But the Wayans brothers did it better 30 years ago in "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker" with Anne Marie Johnson. Cherry, you remember that Cherry Keenan Ivory Wayans season? "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker." They did it better, but it was good.
312-642-5600, our turnkey.pro answer line.
EJ in Rockford.
Great commentary, you guys, and I thought the halftime show was disgusting with the booty shaking, and I couldn't understand the words, and I didn't like the music, and I thought they overfrilled the national anthem and America the Beautiful. Terribly overfrilled.
Oh, I don't...
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, EJ.
National anthem was classy. She wore a long white dress, which was appropriate and respectful. Halftime show, that was all lip-synced. I mean, there's no... You saw that. It was the worst lip-syncing I've ever seen in my life.
Well...
There's no way they did not lip sync that.
I don't know.
They weren't even, because they were singing, their voices weren't even to the microphone when their lyrics were being sung. It was all lip synced.
I don't know. I just didn't pay that much attention. This was a good one though. The WeatherTech ad. Did you see that one?
Oh, I love with the dog.
So I don't like a lot of there's way too many sentimental ads, particularly like sort of contrived ones. But this was nice, this WeatherTech spot, because Scout, the dog that's featured, was in the commercial last year, and then he ran into some health problems.
Hi, I'm Scout, and I'm a lucky dog. And it's not just because I found this cool stick, or that I was in the WeatherTech commercial on the big game last year. It's that I'm a cancer survivor, had a tumor on my heart, and only a 1% chance of survival. I'm alive thanks to a cutting-edge program at the University of Wisconsin School of Veterinary Medicine. Their research has the potential to save millions of pets' lives.
Pets make a difference in your life. You can make a difference in theirs. Donate now at weathertech.com/donate.
Yeah, it's nice to spend $5 million to tell somebody to donate to another organization, focus on another organization that saves Scout there.
Think that's going to generate some funds?
I hope so.
People love animals. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll update you on the coronavirus now that Amy is back from her exploratory mission south of the border at 5:38.
And later, it's Election Day in Iowa. But now let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Skies are fair, 33 degrees this morning. Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champs for the first time in 50 years. Head coach Andy Reid.
I told them that I'd coach another 20 years if I could have that group right there, man. They're a beautiful bunch, resilient, tough-minded, dirty, tough-minded, as you saw tonight. So I'm so proud of them.
Chinese government blaming the U.S. for worldwide concerns about coronavirus, the outbreak that originated in that country. Meantime, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. will send more flights to China to bring U.S. citizens home stuck in the center of that coronavirus outbreak. Hubei province is where the deadly virus first appeared and has killed hundreds and infected thousands. Democrat presidential nominating process begins today with the Iowa caucuses. Democrat presidential candidate Andrew Yang remains optimistic.
We think we're going to surprise a lot of people on Monday night, and we've got a ton of support in New Hampshire.
Polls show Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the front runners in Iowa, clearly ahead of Pete Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren. Biden stopped in Cedar Rapids.
Our politics have become so mean, so petty, so vicious. We need a president who can bring us together, a leader who can unite the party, unite our country.
Bernie Sanders believes his campaign is the strongest overall.
Let me say this so there is no misunderstanding, and I believe I speak for all of the other Democrats competing in this primary. If we do not win, we will support the winner, and I know that every other candidate will do the same.
London authorities have identified the terrorist suspect in Sunday's stabbing attack. Sudesh Aman attacked several people in London before being shot and killed by police. That 20-year-old recently got out of prison after serving time for terrorism charges. U.S. military says it launched an airstrike in Somalia that killed one terrorist, a member of the group Al-Shabaab. Chicago set a record for daily high temps on Sunday. National Weather Service says the observed high at O'Hare, the official reporting station, 52. And authorities say a Chicago firefighter responding to a car fire overnight was shot in the leg around 1 a.m. Andres Feliz dropped in 17, but 19th-ranked Illinois fell short in a 72-65 loss at number 18, Iowa. Bulls were outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe we are where we are.
It's just every question is answered. This was so frustrating to me, watching all of this shift show. How is it even possible we are here? How is this possible? Especially knowing all that we know. It shouldn't be.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other major medical carriers. If you're 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. In Chicago, the least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $570 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,150 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $480 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $5,650 in total out-of-pocket cost per person with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Restore your youthful appearance with Salovin age-defying skincare from Bella Pele Cosmetics. Packed with vitamin-rich ingredients, Salovin is a natural skincare line that leaves skin feeling hydrated, soft, and velvety smooth. Salovin uses the power of CBD, an effective age-defying skincare ingredient that can assist with reducing inflammation and improving skin hydration. Brighten and tighten with the eye cream, which helps reduce the appearance of fine lines, puffiness, and dark circles. The high-potency Lift and Firm Cream provides a CBD-infused penapeptide facelift in a bottle. The Salovin Soft Finishing Moisturizer Cream is excellent for all skin types, provides hydration, and helps restore a youthful glow. Each Salovin product is gluten-free, cruelty-free, and infused with 100% pure CBD from organic whole hemp plants farmed and made right here in the USA. This luxury collection of skincare is available right now at Salovin.com. That's SALEVIN.com. For a limited time, use code AM560 at checkout for 20% off your first purchase.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
5:37 in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
I-57 inbound traffic is jammed. Kedzie to 147th, where all traffic is forced off the roadway there due to a major crash and ongoing investigation. Outbound I-57 is open, and inbound, everything is forced off at 147th, and the entrance ramp is closed as well, going northbound to 57. In Lincolnwood, there's a closure of northbound Cicero Avenue between Toohey and near Lincoln Avenue. There was an earlier fuel spill in that area. Elsewhere on the expressways and tollways, things are looking pretty good right now. Traffic starts to build just a little bit on the inbound side of Ryan and Bishop Ford, but nothing real significant yet. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Cloudy and 42 today. Cloudy with rain or snow overnight. Low of 30. It's 33 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design, luxury outdoor living. amwoodland.com.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So President Trump, fresh off of the Friday move by the Senate to conclude there will be no new witnesses called, that there will be a vote to acquit on Wednesday. President Trump sat down with our friend Sean Hannity for a pre-Super Bowl interview. And, of course, the first topic, impeachment.
Acquittal pretty much now a formality.
been through a lot. Your reaction to all of it?
Well, it's been very unfair from the day I won, and I really say from far before the day I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our future First Lady, who's doing such a good job. To be honest with you, I think it probably started from there. It's been a very, very unfair process. The Mueller report, Russia, as you say, which was total nonsense. It was all nonsense. The whole thing was nonsense. But it was a very unfair, and mostly it was unfair to my family. I mean, my family suffered because of all of this, and many other families suffered also. It was a very, it's a very serious thing. It should never happen to another president.
312-642-5600, Turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, Turnkey.pro text line. He also just confirmed that, no, we're not going to wait for the acquittal vote. The State of the Union will go on tomorrow night as planned.
Any thought to delay the State of the Union?
No. I'm going to have it. It's going to be done. We're going to talk about the achievements that we've made. Nobody's made achievements like we've made.
But just because Trump is being acquitted, I don't want you to think that America is no more.
Okay.
I don't want you to think that. I don't want you to think that our republic is over because Trump will be acquitted and serve out at least his term. So I bring you Jim Comey, who has opined.
No.
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing now?
He's opined in the Washington Post on the topic. Understandably, millions of Americans today see darkness. This is our Mr. Smith. This is our Diogenes. Our president is a bad person and an incompetent leader. He lies constantly, stokes flames of racial division, tries to obstruct justice, and represents much of what our founders feared about a self-interested demagogue. But fear not, says Jim Comey. In November, Americans fully informed will have the chance to decide what kind of country we are and what we expect of our leaders. Well, they've always had that chance, didn't they? I mean, except with respect to the Democrats' attempt to cancel the 2020 election. That was the chance they were always supposed to have and always going to have until the Democrats interceded. I don't buy this stuff about the United States democracy dying, writes Comey. Its death has been predicted regularly for 2 centuries. Yes, a lot of Americans vote for people of poor character who then don't act in their interest, but that has been true to varying degrees throughout our history. So profound, the breadth of his knowledge, which is why you look to him in these times of trouble.
No, I don't.
We all do.
He thinks that people do, though.
I want you to know, Amy, Jim
Yes?
Comey says neither party will disappear. Fear not.
Oh, thank goodness.
Because the American center, that great lump of us clustered around the middle, with Jim, always holds. Where the center is, exactly moves over time. Where the center is exactly moves over time. We change the world by embracing same-sex marriage, for example. But it never goes away. That lump is our national ballast. To survive, our 2 political parties compete for that center, forcing them to change as we do. They regularly miss the mark, which is why the parties, not the United States, suffer repeated near-death experiences, always followed by miraculous revival. When I was a kid, the United States didn't come apart, and it won't now. So sleep easy tonight, little Amy. Jim is in the watchtower. Okay? It's going to be all right.
No.
Oh, my God, this guy.
I mean, he's insufferable.
Ron in Salem, Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm going to get a little off subject, but it ties into what you're saying. We're going to get on the subject of Trump's tweet about congratulating Missouri. And so I thought, these politicians, none of them, he speaks like you and me, or like me. You act a little bit more eloquent than me. But I remember Obama went to all 57 states, and he also talked about the Peace Corps.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, everyone makes mistakes.
So, and same with Comey. I bet you the majority of this country doesn't wax eloquent like Barack Obama or James Comey.
Thanks for the call, Ron. Appreciate it. Craig in Mount Greenwood.
Oh, hey, Dan and Amy. Thanks for taking the call. Now, listen, this is what I got to say is important with regard to, celebrating that not going for the witnesses, because the Democrats are like little starving rats. You even give them a little piece, a little speck of cheese, and it's just like that's like giving them an inch, and they take a mile. They basically come to they use it like hugely. That's why it was so important not to give them those. They would have used it all different ways and everything, and twisted it and everything because of the scoundrels they are. So, man, I just want to celebrate the fact that we're on to basically just get rid of this whole thing. What a fiasco the Democrats created for us and everything like that.
All
That's
right.
all I had to say.
Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it. Bill in the north suburbs.
How are you?
Good.
You know, President Trump should put a portion of the border wall behind him tomorrow night so people don't have to look at Nancy Pelosi with her funny faces. And she'll cause more barfing than the coronavirus.
There you go. Nice
That's not a
tie-in.
symptom.
Yeah.
But also,
thanks
too,
for the
I don't
call,
want her to
Bill.
remember that weird clap she did like this to him.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, remember when he first came out and she cheered him on, very strangely weird shaped like an otter, like.
Hey, he's lucky he even got the invite to make his State of the Union address. Remember, it didn't happen last
that's
year.
right.
So you never know. It's always touch and go with respect to Nancy
But he
Pelosi.
wanted this all done before Tuesday night, but they're going to vote to acquit on Wednesday, which is fine.
It's effectively done. It's
and he doesn't
effectively
need
done.
to come out and make a big sorry statement like Bill Clinton did, because Bill Clinton actually did something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
He actually
there will not
lied
be an
during a
apology.
deposition. Oh, no. There's not going to be a
There is-
sit-down national address from the Oval Office saying, I apologize. And now
No.
let's bring our country back together.
No, there's not going to be an apology. It'll be interesting to see how much time he spends on addressing it, if he addresses it at all. But here's the thing. If you think this is over, apparently maybe it's not over. This is Anna Palmer from Politico on Meet the Press over the weekend.
But to your point on Nancy Pelosi, and I'm at the Capitol a lot, I actually think this is not ending in the Senate. The House Democrats are going to want to hear from John Bolton. They are going to want to continue the investigation. I was talking to an operative just this week, and they were saying this is not going to be the last time this president is impeached.
All right. All right.
Please, no.
We got one more impeachment in us between now and November. So, scrap your summer vacation plans, because we should be right back where we were the last 2 weeks. Say about, I don't know, June-ish. Does that work for you? Here's the thing about that. The funny thing about Oversight continuing. And I know the press corps doesn't want to acknowledge this other track, but it will be forced upon them. There's oversight going on the other side, too. There's the Durham investigation. There's the interest that Lindsey Graham has expressed in conducting oversight of Biden, Inc. and Burisma after this impeachment proceeding. There's what Rand Paul talked about in defending the question that he asked that John Roberts refused to read during the Q&A session last week. This is Rand Paul on his question and its pertinence.
Well, I didn't identify anybody or propose that anyone was the whistleblower, but I did identify two Obama partisans that have worked in the National Security Council. Sean Misko, who works for Adam Schiff, and then I also identified Eric Ciaramella. They're friends. They work together on the National Security Council, and there are allegations that they actually plotted together as much as a year or two ago to say, we got to bring this president down. So it's kind of extraordinary, all the people who actually came from the National Security Council. I count maybe 6 people who know each other pretty well. So you've got Sean Misko, 2 other people on Adam Schiff's team from the National Security Council, all activist Democrats who used to be in the National Security Council. You've got the Vindman, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, and his brother. So there's 2 Vindmans. They're over there at the National Security Council, and this fellow Eric Ciaramella. So you got 6 people who know each other, and the question is, wouldn't we want to know if they've been discussing maybe for months a plan to bring the president down once they got a chance? I wonder if it was coordinated. I mean, I have no proof that it was coordinated, but I certainly think somebody ought to ask. And you shouldn't just get a free pass to, I'm going to attack the president and we're going to plot to bring down the president and get him impeached, but I don't have to testify and nobody gets to scrutinize my background. I don't think that's fair to the president.
Yeah. So you want to continue on these gambits and whistling people before House and Senate committees? No problem. But just remember, Republicans get to play too. So are you ready for Biden, Inc. to be subjected to congressional scrutiny? Are you ready for those NSC staffers to be subjected to congressional scrutiny? And frankly, that should happen regardless of what the Democrats do. because there should be a reckoning for whatever the hell was going on in all of these agencies with either senior level people. Of course, that harkens back to the FBI under Comey and the CIA under Brennan, the Obama administration senior officials, including whoever it was that unmasked General Flynn, and these, fifth column actors at NSC. All of it. Root it all out. Chuck in Delavan, Wisconsin.
Hello, Chuck.
Chuck. No, Chuck.
I hope he's okay.
No, Chuck.
That's not like him. Uh-oh.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents. And Doug.
Limu, when we're not telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, I've actually been moonlighting as a DJ. Check it! Here's the good part! Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer,
1 million questions flood your mind.
How can this be happening?
Am I going to be able to work?
What's a subtype?
What do I do now?
We know.
We went through it too.
But once you start to understand your options,
You can partner with your doctor
and find ways to face MBC on your own terms.
visit findyourmbcvoice.com and learn how to speak up and have a more informed conversation with your doctor.
Some questions have answers.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com to find some of yours.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
The late, great Winston Churchill said, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks." Pretty wise words considering all of the distractions in modern society.
Manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution for your business that will make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI, 844-HIRE-ASI, or online at hireasi.com.
I have cabin fever already. Chicago weather is so unpredictable, and it could be months before we get outside for a little warm sunshine.
What about using the sunroom? We can sweep out the cobwebs. I can patch up the glass with duct tape. Get that raccoon out.
No. We need a complete overhaul of the sunroom. I'm calling Sunspace by Arborview.
Rediscover your dream sunroom. That existing sunroom or screened-in porch that's been neglected or used for storage can be a beautiful living space waiting to come alive. It just needs TLC from the sunroom experts at Sunspace by Arborview. Convert your screened-in porch into a 3-season room or turn an old, outdated porch into a fresh new retreat free of bad weather, bugs, dust, and dirt. Sunspace by Arborview can do it all. Walls, WeatherMaster windows, doors, and decking, all using Sunspace products. They'll even collaborate with your new home builder. You could be waiting a long time for a warm-up. Update or convert your pre-existing screened-in porch now. Visit sunspacebyarborview.net. Sunspacebyarborview.net.
Hey, check out this report of our Office 365 email and the threats sitting in users' inboxes.
Wow, how did you get this?
There's a free tool called Barracuda Email Threat Scanner that can quickly and safely scan our Office 365 email for hidden threats like spear phishing and domain fraud.
Really?
Yeah, Barracuda Email Threat Scanner identifies hidden threats and employees most at risk for a cyber attack, all summarized in a complete report.
This is great.
Get your free email threat scan now at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
A business needs to be built on a great foundation, one with the framework of integrity and tradition. Chapel Design Build delivers just that, providing design build and general contracting services using Butler Steel Building Systems. Their projects dot the landscape from O'Hare to DeKalb. You see their work in office and warehouse additions, recreational facilities, large-scale distribution centers, and manufacturing plants all over northern Illinois. Partnering with Butler Steel Buildings, Chapel Design Build has developed an extensive subcontractor base and valuable market knowledge to get your quality-built project completed on time and on budget, ensuring your project is a success for your business and one that you will be proud of for years to come. The goal is to build lasting relationships with their clients using buildings that last from Butler. Get started on your next building project built with Butler Steel. Visit chapeldb.com. That's Chapel D as in design, B as in build.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy just continuing our little impeachment talk, waiting for Wednesday's acquittal vote. Mike Pompeo, he's our Secretary of State, don't you know? He was over in Ukraine visiting with President Zelensky, our ally. Had this to say about our posture with respect to Ukraine, the Trump administration's posture with respect to Ukraine.
Today, I'm here with a clear message. The United States sees that the Ukrainian struggle for freedom, democracy, and prosperity is a valiant one. Our commitment to support it will not waver. As I told President Zelensky earlier today, the commitment starts with our strong support for his efforts to strengthen democratic institutions in this country.
And Pompeo, of course, was asked about a meeting between Trump and Zelensky, and would there be any predicates? You know, do you have to launch an investigation into Burisma?
No, there's no condition of the nature you described for President Zelensky to come to Washington and have that visit. It's just simply not the case. We'll find the right time. We'll find the appropriate opportunity. We want to make sure that it happens at a time when there are substantial progress, things that we can deliver between the two of us. And there's a lot of work. Our teams discussed today all the opportunities. We see the economic opportunity for American businesses coming here. We talked about a handful of them just this morning, companies by name, real projects. President Zelensky will be welcome to come to Washington when we have an opportunity to do good things for both the Ukrainian people and the American people. We'll get it done. I'm confident of that.
And President Zelensky echoed those sentiments, saying, I mean, there's no reason for me to come just to have a photo op. I'll come when we've advanced the flag in the direction that Pompeo just laid out. We have results to talk about. We have next steps to talk about. So it's a productive, substantive meeting with President Trump, not just, as I said, a photo op. So there again, you know, boy, the hostage that we have there in Ukraine, President Zelensky, the guy that we're extorting and bribing and holding up, doesn't sound like it.
And the best thing during these hearings is what I learned is from the former ambassadors to the Ukraine who said how much this aid helped. It helped protect Ukrainians. It helped with some, ground air missile rockets that would help in Russia's attack of them. And how that helped us in return.
Right.
It kept everyone safe.
The weaponry they need to disable Russian tanks and so forth. Right.
Chuck, but nobody ever heard that on mainstream media.
Well, right. And of course, it certainly it was blunted the fact that the lethal aid that all of those Foreign Service officers wanted was something that they couldn't get from Obama and they did get from Trump. That aspect of this was reported. We talked about it. It was talked about a little bit, but just a little bit. It's really a material difference between the two administrations, I would say. Chuck in Delavan, Wisconsin. Try again.
Hey, sorry for the drop call. Happy Super Bowl Monday. Amy, you brought up that point about the funny clap from Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. Anyway, let's not forget about Ryan Owen, and nobody would stand for his widow. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for the call, Chuck. An interesting observation from Eddie Scari over at WashingtonExaminer.com. On the whole impeachment matter, now that it's effectively over, the absolutely anticlimactic impeachment is going to do nothing but frustrate and depress Democrat voters who are hoping for some sign that their hatred of Trump would bear fruit. How's it going to work out for the 2020 Democrat candidates who need all of those people to turn out? It's true, Democrats can say Trump was impeached, but if he wins re-election, and he likely will, impeachment and $3 will get them a Happy Meal. I don't envy Democrats right now. Yeah, I don't envy them right now either in terms of their political position for a lot of reasons. One is this massive impeachment fail, 3 years of impeachment fail, really. And then two is you have all the energy in the primary contest for Democrats with Bernie Sanders right now. And that's the last thing they want.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, we should do a little bit of preview of Iowa since the Hawkeyes and Cyclones
And yes.
and Panthers
Panthers,
and so on and so on. Since they all caucus tonight in Iowa, that's at 6:06.
And later, China lashing out at the U.S. as more stringent travel restriction on China takes effect to end the coronavirus. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunday's daily high temp breaks a record here in the Chicago area. Lincoln Park High School boys basketball season has been suspended. Teen killed in a West Englewood shooting, and number 19 Illinois falls short at number 18 Iowa. WIND Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
They waited 50 years for this. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That was the celebration in Kansas City after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Fox's Matt Napolitano was at the game, now live in Miami.
Dave, after 21 years as an NFL head coach, the wait is over for Andy Reid. He is a Super Bowl champion. The Kansas City Chiefs rallying back from down 20-10 with minutes left in regulation to defeat the San Francisco 49ers 31-20 and win Super Bowl 54, the first Vince Lombardi trophy for the Chiefs in 5 decades. Patrick Mahomes guiding what had been a quiet Kansas City offense on 3 straight scoring drives in the fourth quarter, including the go-ahead touchdown pass to Damian Williams. Mahomes going on to earn Super Bowl MVP honors, the youngest quarterback to win the award at the age of 24. Dave?
Matt, before the game, President Trump talked to Fox and said this about impeachment.
Since the whole thing was nonsense, but it was a very unfair, and mostly it was unfair to my family.
Now, closing arguments start in 4 hours at his Senate trial.
And both legal teams have to do it in 4 hours. Wednesday is the day senators will vote on the actual articles of impeachment. That's when the senators will either declare guilty or not guilty. To remove the president on Wednesday, 67 senators need to sign on. The math just is not there for that to happen.
Fox's David Spunt. The first 2020 contest tonight in the Democratic presidential race, the Iowa caucuses.
7 p.m. Central at 1,681 precincts across the state. If their first choice didn't reach a 15% threshold, well, they'll have to make a second choice. One thing is very clear on the ground here, and that is this is sizing up to be an unpredictable four-way race with Bernie Sanders surging. He has clearly got the largest crowds here.
Fox's Griff Jenkins, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren also high in the polls. There are now 11 confirmed coronavirus cases in the U.S., leading to more restrictions. More than 17,000 cases in China, 361 deaths. America's listening to Fox News.
Skies are fair, 33 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. O'Hare is one of the designated U.S. airports now for coronavirus evacuees from China. U.S. declared, of course, a public health emergency last Friday. Starting yesterday, any American from the epicenter of that outbreak will undergo a mandatory quarantine. Chicago set a record for a daily high temperature on Sunday. The National Weather Service says the observed high temp at O'Hare was 52. Authorities say Chicago firefighter responding to a car fire overnight was shot in the leg. Fire Commissioner Richard Ford says firefighters arrived on the scene around 1 a.m. when someone began shooting. Firefighters took cover, but one 6-year department veteran was struck in the lower leg. The 36-year-old is expected to make a full recovery. Lincoln Park High School boys basketball team is having its season suspended. Chicago Public Schools made that decision to suspend the remainder of the season because of misconduct allegations. Actions taken by CPS also include removing the school's interim principal and assistant principal. CPS plans to discuss a transition plan for the high school at a meeting later on tonight. The Illinois State Board of Elections says about 4,700 underage teens were almost registered to vote. Secretary of State's office forwarded the information of these 16-year-olds to the Board of Elections, where a filter, they say, caught the error and shut down the process. Officials believe the error came from the teens getting their driver's licenses and accidentally registering to vote using the automatic system. Andres Feliz dropped in 17, but 19th-ranked Illinois fell short in a 72-65 loss at number 18 Iowa. Bulls outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors in Toronto. Of course, the Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54, and at the Super Bowl of golf in Phoenix, Webb Simpson one stroke better than Tony Finau in the playoff to win the Phoenix Open. The news, a service of Upwork. Upwork has the world's largest network of proven independent professionals, and here's an alphabetical list of them. Accountants, administrative assistants, animators, architects, well, you get the point. When you need in-demand talent on demand, Upwork is how. 6:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
There's no better way to celebrate the great state of our union than to sit down to a finely prepared meal, pour yourself a nice bubbly beverage, and get together with all your rowdy friends. Yeah, that's just what we're doing on Tuesday, February 4th. Join us for our State of the Union viewing party, presented by healthinsurancementors.com. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/taste. Sponsored in part by Salavin Age-Defying Skincare.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
This is Attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649. or go to freeirsbook.com.
At Staples, save up to 40% all month long on select chairs like desk or executive chairs for the office and gaming chairs for your home. If you are outfitting your home, your office, or your home office, hurry into your local Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 2/29/20 while supplies last. Staples.
6:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Jim Talamonte.
Northbound I-57 traffic barely crawling from 159th Street to Sibley for 147th, where everything is blocked for a crash. Traffic forced off at 147th. The on-ramp as well is closed. Heading northbound on 57. Bishop Ford Freeway looks good as an alternate. Just a little congested approaching the merge. You could also use Holstead in that area. Southbound 53, traffic stop and go Dundee to Brand Road. Crash the two right lanes. Also lane closures in Lincolnwood on Cicero at Toohey after a fuel spill. Kennedy inbound, a little tight Foster to Lawrence. Outbound, you've got about a 3-minute delay approaching O'Hare with slight delays on the inbound Icon-Stevenson. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. And our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy, the high at 42. Clouds tonight, rain or snow shower in spots, breezy, low 30. Snow tomorrow morning, little or no accumulation, otherwise clouds and breezy. The high tomorrow at 33. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
33 at O'Hare, 36 Lakefront. Next news, 6:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So Iowans caucus tonight. Of course, all the action on the Dem side to figure who is going to have momentum coming out of Iowa, with New Hampshire just a week from tomorrow. And if Bernie wins tonight,
yes,
and if he holds his lead in New Hampshire, boy, then you really have some momentum behind Bolshevik Bernie to be your nominee. I mean, he's lapping the field in California right now. He's in a dead heat with Biden in Nevada. Joe Biden still has a lead in South Carolina, but if he doesn't win North Carolina going away, if Bernie Sanders had a strong showing in South Carolina, that momentum would not subside at all. This is getting very interesting, and this is interesting. There is concern because 2 weeks ago we talked about the op-eds that were being fired off by former Obama world flacks and former Clinton world flacks. They realized that this field is being found wanting, that half a dozen candidates have been measured and found not authentic enough by the preponderance of the base, which is hard left. And over the weekend, the Democrat establishment, such as it is, playing right into the hands of Bernie Sanders. Remarkable. Right into his hands. Essentially, they're trying to stop him, and what they're doing is just providing more momentum for Bernie Sanders. Michael Moore.
Has he showered yet?
He likes to live au naturel.
Well, wash your jeans.
He was the MC for another Bernie rally.
Oh, gosh.
And but listen to what he's pointing out. He's pointing out two things. There's two things that Democrats have just done that are feeding the Bernie bros. One, Bloomberg on the debate stage, buying his way on.
Right.
Two,
it's going to happen.
John Podesta being named to the DNC convention committee. Hillary Clinton's John Podesta.
Uh-oh. Do I smell a brokered convention?
What you might smell is Bernie running the table because of these late in the game rules changes that the Democrats are making to try to stop Bernie. Michael Moore picking up the Bloomberg piece.
They are removing the rule to be on the debate stage where it says you have to have so many people donating to you. Otherwise, instead of 27 people on the stage, there'd be 227 people on the stage. So you had to have a certain number of Americans that would give you a buck. That's all the rule said. But it would to show that there's support. And that's how they determined who would be on that debate stage. Today, they removed that rule because Mike Bloomberg, the billionaire, the Republican mayor of New York City, they're backstage going, oh, God, what's he going to say? They removed it so that he could be in the next debate. He doesn't have to show he has any support amongst the American people. He can just buy his way onto the debate stage. And I got to tell you what's so disgusting about this. I watched the debate in Iowa here 2 weeks ago. The all-white debate. And the fact that the DNC will not allow Cory Booker on that stage, will not allow Julian Castro on that stage, but they're going to allow Mike Bloomberg on the stage because he's got $1 billion.
Oh.
Hello. Angry.
Wow.
Angry.
Woo!
Not happy. And remember, this is a group of supporters who think they got hornswoggled, because they did, in 2016. So they're already a little skeptical. Remember that polling we went over? Will you support whoever the Democrat nominee is? 90% of Biden and Warren voters say yes. Only 54% of Bernie voters said yes. That's a problem for them. And the problems are continuing to compound. Rashida Tlaib at a panel for Bernie in Iowa with Omar on Hillary Clinton and Hillary Clinton's recent comments that were none too kind to Bolshevik Bernie.
Week when someone by the name of Hillary Clinton said that we're not going to boo, we're classy here. We're classy. I'll boo. Boo.
Oh, no, you booed
You
Hillary.
all know I can't be quiet. No, we're going to boo. That's all right. The haters will shut up on Monday when we win. There we go.
How do you like the autophagy on the left? How do you like it?
312-642-5600 is turnkey.pro. Answer line 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. They made their closing arguments last night, Dan, all the candidates, after campaigning for a year through the Hawkeye state. And Joe Biden, listen to how tired he sounds and old.
We choose unity over division. And we choose truth over lies. We choose hope over fear.
He's reading from the people.
We choose science over fiction. And we choose unity over division.
You get the point. But can somebody get him a glass of water?
You think he sounds old.
Wow.
How about John Kerry as his surrogate?
Uh-oh.
So you heard from Joe, I don't want to go on and on, but you heard from Joe about the things he did with the NRA. That took courage. Delaware is a tough state. I'm a hunter. I'm a gun owner. Been that all my life. But I got news for you. I'm sure there's not a veteran here who would take an AR-16 with a long clip to go out and shoot a deer or shoot anything. There has no business. Joe led the fight to get those things off the street. Yeah. Now we have a crowd that was willing to bring them back. And we saw what happened in Las Vegas and other places. We need a Joe Biden with the guts and the courage and the savvy to be able to do something that's reasonable about guns in our country.
I mean, I know you're a hunter and you're very well versed in all this, Senator Kerry, but AR-16, there was never a civilian model for that. It was never a civilian
minor
sports
detail.
rifle.
But speaking of old white men, Bernie, his closing argument, Dan, it's all about voter turnout.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If there is a low voter turnout tomorrow night, we're going to lose.
Okay, thanks.
So, but
motivating people to get to the polls.
crack up that's going on. That's the story. The story is this crack up, this cannibalization of each other. And Tiny Dancer, our very own Tiny Dancer, he's concerned about it. Op-ed in the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, Democrats may be blowing their chance.
Uh-oh.
Reform is often more effective than revolution. Amid the heated rhetoric now blowing through Iowa, Democrats appear to be losing sight of that. Progressivism isn't a destination, it's an orientation. Purists are anxious to box some of us out by narrowing the definition, but we all share in the mission of using government's tools to serve those who've left behind. Oh, yeah, that's certainly what he did in Chicago, didn't he? Uh-huh. He laments the criticisms that have been leveled against President Clinton and Obama, not from conservatives, but from Democrats arguing they were insufficiently progressive while in office. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's getting a little dicey. Mike in Crown Point, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. I think that Durham is going to take care of Joe Biden, either Durham or Lindsey Graham. And by the time the convention comes, it's going to be a whole fireworks show. I don't care if Bernie wins outright. They're going to come up with some double secret probation excuse to give it to somebody else. And that it's going to be like Chicago in '68. Thanks.
Chicago in '60. Oh, interesting.
Oh,
I don't know about that. I don't know.
There's not enough passion or fire for that.
Yeah, I mean, right. So the way it would be. Oh well, he's saying the way it would be Chicago in '68 if it was somehow stolen from Bernie.
Oh,
because he's the only one with the supporters. He's the only one with supporters under 50, basically.
I know.
Really. So he's the only one with the supporters with the energy and the violent tendencies, as we've heard from their staffers, thanks to the Project Veritas undercover videos and audio.
And the women, Elizabeth Warren, she's done. It's over. Especially that question that she sent Chief Justice Roberts. I mean, I just think the energy's not there. Listen to her last night. Closing arguments. This is her. Okay, this is it. After a year, Dan, hitting the pavement.
We got a choice to make. Now, we can
crying?
bend our knees, we can pull in, we can cower, we can be timid, or We can fight back. Me, I'm fighting back. That's why I'm here.
Yeah,
Not for much longer.
It's not the Chief Justice Roberts question. That was just, typical. That was speechifying through a cue card or through
Yeah,
an
but I like
index
how
card.
Schiff stood up for Chief Justice
Oh,
Roberts.
please. Stood up for him. The whole thing was so contrived. Give me a break. The
After watching it for 3 weeks, I can find my little pleasures, okay?
Leave me
alone.
The real question was, the real incident was, we played this on Friday. Her in Iowa talking about how she would outsource the vetting of her Secretary of Education nominee to some 9-year-old quote-unquote trans kid who she met on the trail or who interviewed her or something. I mean, that is crazy town. And don't believe me, believe Bill Maher on Politically Incorrect.
Now, Obama said people just don't want crazy stuff. Is this not crazy stuff?
Bill,
is she running for president of Berkeley?
There's a fundamental...
You know what's funny about Elizabeth Warren?
Oh.
She's so instructive. She is the synecdoche for the suburban soccer mom.
The synecdoche, I think I ordered that yesterday. It's a
Yeah.
line of socks.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah. Make sure
Reduces the swelling when you're on planes.
That's
the
right. You want
synecdoche.
you want to come up your knees. Make sure you get that version.
Exactly.
She is the perfect representation of the quote unquote suburban soccer mom and soccer dad.
Yes.
And by that I mean people with zero foundation who are just pushed in whatever direction the zeitgeist pushes them. Pushed in whatever direction somebody says is popular, enlightened, what appeals to sentimentality because they have no foundation. Elizabeth Warren, according to Elizabeth Warren, was a quote-unquote registered Republican until she was 46. Until she was 46. She recounts no epiphanal moment.
No aha moment?
No.
As Oprah would say. And that's a strange time in life to change
But it isn't.
parties.
But it isn't. What's happened in this state? You want to understand who Elizabeth Warren is? Just get a gander at the women on the League of Women Voters chapter in your community. That's who she is. People that are complete sentimental barbarians. There is no big government gambit that they cannot be shamed into supporting because they're here to emote, not to address, not to solve, and certainly not to think. That's Elizabeth Warren. That's how you can have somebody who's a Republican at 46 and proposing policies just as authoritarian as Bernie Sanders in most cases, more authoritarian in other cases. Elizabeth Warren. You all do. Everybody knows her. They are all around you, particularly in these states like Illinois that have been completely lost, where the suburbs have been completely lost. Sort of the highly educated suburbs around a big urban center have been completely lost to the cultural Marxists. That's Elizabeth Warren. You wouldn't recognize her today if you knew her 20 years ago, just like you wouldn't recognize so many of the people in your social circles in this region. It's the same thing. Without foundation, without any basis of analysis, without any moral code, and you just follow wherever those who actually have an agenda, the cultural elites that are in charge of our civic institutions and our powerful communication platforms, those that actually do have agenda, you just follow dutifully wherever they go. And then you become even a bigger zealot than they are because you're a convert to whatever is all current. Elizabeth Warren's candidacy, I'm so happy she ran for president. It's so instructive.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who've been taking the product. I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, it's been phenomenal.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore, and I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back, and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me. I recommend it to everybody.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, I got a great night's sleep last night, all thanks to not only MyPillow and the MyPillow mattress topper, but also the MyPillow Giza cotton sheets. Folks, these are the real deal. And right now, they're still offering 2 for the price of 1. And this could end at any time. So if you're thinking about it, take us up on that offer. You've heard me talk endlessly about the great night's sleep that I do get with MyPillow and all those MyPillow products. And if you procrastinated, do it now and get 2 sets for the price of 1. Plus, if you use the promo code AMY, A-M-Y, you can still get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, even the MyPillow towels, which are very soft and absorbent. So go to MyPillow.com, type AMY, A-M-Y, in the promo code, and voila, you'll get free shipping and 2 sets of Giza sheets for the price of 1. MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201 and tell them Amy sent you.
Backed by popular demand, the 2020 Tinley Park Golf Show, February 7th through the 9th at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Show hours are Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 5, and Sunday 11 to 4. Enjoy a true golfing experience with driving range demo area and reps from Callaway, Wilson, Tour Edge, Cobra, TaylorMade, and Mizuno. Compete in the skills challenges for the longest drive, closest to the pin, and the long putt. Daily winners and top 10 in long drive and closest to the pin compete Sunday afternoon at 2 for a $500 cash prize. Browse aisles of newly released equipment and apparel from Chicagoland's top retailers at the Tinley Park Golf Show. Plus, check out the live telecast of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am at the famous Parmesan's 19th Hole Bar and Lounge. For tickets and hotel information, go to TinleyParkConventionCenter.net. TinleyParkConventionCenter.net. For area information, go to VisitChicagoSouthland.com. That's VisitChicagoSouthland.com.
You've heard Remke's Garage commercials on AM 560, and now they specialize in servicing Sprinters and light-duty diesels. But the experts at Remke's also service Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. So if you own an Isuzu or Chevy low-cab forward truck but aren't sure where to get it repaired, take it to Remke's Garage, your #1 dealer alternative for repairs to your Isuzu NPR, Isuzu F-Series, or Chevy low-cab forward truck. Whether gas or diesel, your truck is the lifeline of your business. That's why Remke's Garage offers free loaners while your truck is being serviced. They'll even pick up and deliver for your convenience. Remke's Garage has the factory scan tool to properly diagnose Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty. Go to Remke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Isuzu and Chevy low-cab forward trucks and schedule your appointment today. That's Remke's, REMKES, Garage.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about Iowa. President Trump was asked about some of his combatants, and here's what he had to say about Mike Bloomberg.
Very little. I just think of little. You know, now he wants a box for the debates to stand on. Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. You could be sure. Why should he get a box to stand on, okay? He wants a box for the debates. Why should he be entitled to that? Really? Then does that mean everyone else gets a box?
I guess if they want one, I will have to negotiate box.
And then you have to ask, well, how big do you want your box to be? And, you know, Amy Klobuchar is pretty short. She'd want a big box.
It's reminiscent of the Saturday Night Live, when back in the 80s when Saturday Night Live was funny.
Yeah.
The Bush Dukakis ads.
Oh.
And Lovett says Dukakis. He comes on the stage, and then you hear them elevating. Yeah, behind. And then it's vote for Bush. He's taller. Yeah. He also had this to say about Bernie. Just running through Hannity, ran him through some of the primary competitors who could be the individual he squares off against in the fall.
How concerned are you?
Well, we pretty much shut it down.
No, that's Corona. Here's Bernie.
Bernie Sanders.
Well, I think he's a communist. I mean, look, I think of communism when I think of Bernie. Now, you could say socialist, but didn't he get married in Moscow? And that's wonderful. Moscow's wonderful.
Might have been the honeymoon.
You don't think necessarily, well, whatever, but you don't necessarily think in terms of marriage, Moscow. And it's wonderful.
You haven't seen the puppet shows, though. You got to really see the puppet shows to fully appreciate
really?
why you would honeymoon in Moscow.
What's like the Clintons honeymooning in Haiti?
Well, here's the thing about Bernie. It's not just the honeymoon in Moscow. It's the lauding of Castro in Cuba. It's the promoting Ortega and the Sandinistas in Nicaragua. This is not a one-off for Bernie. This is 40 years of being pro-communist the world over, including in America. Trump is right. You guys are red. Let's just call it what it is. He can call himself a socialist, but what's a communist, as Lenin said? A socialist in a hurry. And what's a socialist these days? Just a regular old Democrat in America in a hurry. So I think Trump has it sussed out fairly.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, we'll have an update on what we know about the coronavirus and its spread at 6:36.
And it's spreading quickly. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
33 degrees. Skies are fair. 6:30 on AM 560. The Answer. Stock futures are bouncing back after Friday's 600-point sell-off. Futures on the Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are up 0.5%. Dow futures are up 126. Voting to choose the Democrat presidential candidate begins tonight in Iowa. Voters gathering at caucus sites across that state. Polls show Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the front runners. Democrat presidential candidate Amy Klobuchar believes the contest is wide open.
It is an open game here.
Meantime, on Fox News Sunday, Minnesota's senior senator saying her campaign is seeing plenty of momentum in crowds, while Democrat presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg is looking to do well in Iowa.
Tomorrow is going to be a big night, and it will propel us into the states ahead.
On ABC's This Week, London authorities have identified the terrorist suspect in Sunday's stabbing attack. Sudesh Aman attacked several in London before being shot and killed by police. The 20-year-old recently got out of prison after serving time for terrorism charges. There are now 11 confirmed cases of the potentially deadly coronavirus in the U.S. More than half are in California, where 3 new infections were announced Sunday. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. is planning on sending more flights to China to bring U.S. citizens home.
We have a handful more flights that will be heading to China to bring Americans back home from Hubei province. The exact timing of those, we're still coordinating with the Chinese government, but we anticipate that they will happen in the next handful of days.
O'Hare is one of the designated airports for coronavirus evacuees from China. Lincoln Park High School boys basketball team is having its season suspended. Chicago Public Schools made the decision to suspend the remainder of the season because of misconduct allegations. Actions taken by CPS also include removing the school's interim principal and assistant principal, and a transition plan for the high school will be outlined at a meeting later tonight. The days of winning a goldfish as a prize at an Illinois county fair or festival may soon be over. Suburban state senator wants to outlaw live animals as prizes. Senator Susie Hilton says it's cruel and sometimes sticks people with pets that live for years. Andres Feliz had 17 off the bench. Number 19 Illinois fell short in a 72-65 loss at number 18 Iowa. Bulls outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors in Toronto. Chiefs are champions of Super Bowl 54. Webb Simpson won the Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale. Crosby Clambake is next. The news is a service of Nature Valley Oats and Honey Crunchy Bars. The satisfying crunch of Nature Valley Crunchy Bars can keep your family going, which means more outside fun for you. And with whole grain oats and real delicious honey, it's really tasty too. Nature Valley Oats and Honey Crunchy Bars. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher warns the Democrats of November.
They're not going to be laughing the morning after the election.
They weren't laughing the morning after the election in 2016, and they're not going to be laughing after the election in 2020. They're having a great time now. American people are paying attention. There is something happening in America, and it's not a happy ending for the Democrats.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. NMLS ID 128231. Equal housing lender. Not licensed in all states, including New York. Offer not available in Washington. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions.
You see it on TV every day. Global turmoil. But these international events help keep interest rates low and may even drive them lower. In response, we at Cash Call Mortgage have lowered our interest rates for the new year. And that's great news for homeowners. If you have a current rate above 2.99%, call us to see how much you can save. If you qualify, we'll even pay your closing costs. And we can close your refi in as fast as 20 days with no upfront deposit. With our low interest rates and no closing costs if you qualify, there's never been a better time to lock in a low rate before it's gone. For a free quote, go to cashcallmortgage.com or call 800-990-6947. That's 800-990-6947. 800-990-6947.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Illinois Army National Guard. Aired by the Illinois Broadcasters Association and this station.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off during their holiday sale.
6:35, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Traffic on inbound I-57 is jammed solid. 159th to 147th, where all traffic is forced off the roadway due to a major collision. The on-ramp, 147th, Sibley, there at Harvey. That on-ramp going northbound is closed as well for crash investigation. Fishboard looks like a pretty good alternate. Only seeing minimal congestion right now. It's about 16 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Eden's a little tight Foster to the junction. Kennedy inbound delay started Canfield. 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, it's 30. Inbound Eisenhower and Stevenson have just mild delays. Inbound Ryan as well. You see a little bit of heavy traffic on southbound 53 approaching Rand Road. An earlier crash there cleared. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Cloudy and 42 today. It's 33 right now. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So I saw this story, just the headline, that a person was pulled off a flight for wearing a gas mask, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Amy Jacobson's vacation is going to be ruined. That's so terrible. But it turned out it wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me, but I was at O'Hare last night in the international terminal. And you would be surprised at how many people have masks on and gloves. I had 2 pairs of gloves on. I had a mask. I was
2 pairs.
2, yeah, because one's not enough.
Like the latex gloves you're wearing now.
Well, I ran out of the box that our HR director gave me here, and there's some in the medicine cabinet. If you ever need to know, if you want some gloves. But no, this is about to become a pandemic.
E.T. phone home. E.T.
17,000.
I'll be right here.
17,000 people have the virus. It jumped now to 365 people have died from it. Mm-hmm. And I learned Friday, I think it was Friday afternoon, that the Chinese woman who's from Chicago, who's now being, she's in quarantine at the hospital in Hoffman Estates, her husband now has the virus too. And guess what?
Right.
And the 1-year-old grandson of his has a fever right now. So he's in quarantine too. But he might have been at daycare with other kids, but of course they won't answer any of those questions.
And
because I call and email like a lunatic.
The 17,000 cases, what do we got in the U.S.? 9?
No, now it's jumped to 11 this month.
11.
Well, that's a lot.
That's sure. I mean, can you imagine? I wonder if there's what's the incidence of the number of people who have like a severe case of the flu right now in America?
Well, 8,000 people this year have died so far from the flu
in
America.
And we have 11 cases of coronavirus, but that's what we should run around with our hair on fire about.
Well, last night they were checking passengers at O'Hare that were coming off the plane from Shanghai, and I really think there is cause for concern.
Our flight coming back, there were about 100 people that got denied, and our plane was empty. We probably had, 50, 60 people on our plane?
They should shut down all the flights. That's what I think that they're going to start doing.
Ground air traffic internationally.
No. Just all flights going in and out of China.
Oh.
All parts of China. Today, Starbucks is shut down. The McDonald's is shut down. IKEA is shut down. Apple, Google, they're telling people if you can work from home, work from home. But the people last night that flew out on possibly one of the last flights from Shanghai to Chicago, we're lucky to get on.
It wasn't too bad. It just take a little longer and also talk to the CDC. I think that's good. They just basically ask, have you been in Wuhan?
We're just lucky enough to get on the last flight to come back.
Yeah, right. Last chopper out of Hanoi.
And they were checking people's temperatures on, as they were getting off the plane. But they need to be quarantined, I think, for 14 days before going anywhere, because you could have the virus and not show signs of it and spread it to other people. And that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, let's see how far you're willing to go. Chinese authorities threatening to kill cats and dogs over coronavirus fears. How about a Khmer Rouge killing field for all the pets in China? What do you say to that?
Like they did in Chernobyl after everybody left, they went back and killed all the animals.
I mean, it's one thing to set up internment camps for humans, but now we're talking about cats and dogs in the crosshairs.
Well,
what do you say? What do you say? Let's go. We got to pull the trigger. We got to stop this thing. Come on. What do you say?
Do we know that cats? Do we know that cats and dogs can transfer the virus?
Precautionary. Let's burn
I got to get a mask for Bunky.
Burn it all down, and we'll figure it out later. One of China's top infectious disease experts said the deadly virus could spread from animals to humans. Kill all the animals. What do you say? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. What about it?
Bunky go bye-bye? No.
We're bringing the squads to the Lakeview alleys where you feed all those cats, and they're all going to be onto their eternal reward. What do you think?
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
Well, Amy is contemplating the future of pets the world over. President Trump addressed coronavirus in his pre-Super Bowl interview with Hannity.
How concerned are you?
Well, we pretty much shut it down coming in from China. We have a tremendous relationship with China, which is a very positive thing. Getting along with China, getting along with Russia, getting along with these countries.
Have you offered the Chinese president help with the coronavirus?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we're offering them tremendous help. We have the best in the world for that. We've done a tremendous job in many other instances also on that, even recently. We've offered China help. But we can't have thousands of people coming in who may have this problem, the coronavirus. So we're going to see what happens.
Well, the Chinese foreign minister this morning does not think the U.S. is helping. She says everyone that's coming in has plane loads of medical equipment. She said, quote, her name is Wu Yangying. maybe not. The U.S. government hasn't provided any substantial assistance to us, but it was the first to evacuate personnel from its consulate in Wuhan, the first to suggest partial withdrawal of its embassy staff, and the first to impose a travel ban on Chinese travelers. All it has done could only create and spread fear, which is a bad example. Mm-hmm. Well, too bad. Sorry, China. Sorry.
And we're coming for your pets, too, China. Well,
why don't they stop eating animals? I mean, did you hear this story?
Stop eating animals?
Well, here's the thing. The Chinese government seized 12 tons of beaver penises.
That's a lot of beaver penis.
It's about $24 million of beaver penis. It came from Canada. It was in a cargo ship.
Is that the market value? You only get $2 for a beaver penis these days?
Well, you know what?
I'll tell you what.
I know you know what it's used for. Beaver penis is used in traditional Chinese medicine to cure erectile dysfunction and increase sexual vigor.
I'm long on beaver penis. That's why I don't like to hear that $2 is the market clearing price.
Well, beaver
That
and
is-
deer penis from North America are openly sold in Chinese traditional medicine stores throughout the country,
You
and
don't
they
have to
season
tell
them.
me.
Well,
I'm
they
familiar
kill
with
so
it.
many beavers. It's for their.
It's
But it's just a bag of. There's 94 bags of beaver penises.
The Des Moines
Can you
Institute.
imagine?
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
So sad. Well, this might be the reason why there's coronavirus. You're eating beaver penis?
Well,
Really?
Well, it's. I don't want to go into the whole beaver penis industry and what how you extract the medicine, but suffice it to say, that's something I don't want to see disrupted by the coronavirus.
And by the way, Corona, because Corona Beer and I was in Mexico for 3 days recently, like last night. They don't like that it's Corona. They're like, no Corona.
Not great branding
this
for Corona.
Is, right. So this is how they pronounce it, and they want me to spread this information to the folks back here in Chicago.
Oh, thank you for bringing this message back all the way from the faraway land of Mexico.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
¿Qué una vez más?
Coronavirus.
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 Got it? Coronavirus.
Was that the Mexican version of the electric company? what that?
That was my bus driver.
Yeah. Hey,
And I
tell him. Hey,
as about the
don't
coronavirus, he said
worry.
we have tons of corona here. I'm like, no.
Don't worry. We understand the difference between a Corona beer and a flu virus. We got it. Corona's not going to lose market share.
Well, they're
Just focus
worried.
on the beaver penises.
They got to shut her down, man.
Margot in Burr Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Right. Well, I did hear Senator Tom Cotton talking about this, and he said that, for one thing, we have no idea how contagious this actually is. I mean, think about it. This husband knew his wife had it, and he still got it, and the guy in Illinois. And the other thing, because the Chinese lie about everything, we also don't know how what the mortality rate actually is, because the Chinese lie about everything. The other thing he said was that is where they have two bio labs there where they create disease and everything, and that's right there in that Wuhan area.
Right.
Those two things. And the other thing about this is, and I think it was him that said it, but I know it was somebody official. They don't really have a cure for it. Like it's one of these resistant strains. So like how you have like a resistant staph infection, it's like that. And the only thing they found so far that's really working with it is a drug that they use to combat AIDS. So that is really scary if you think about it. What are they going to use to combat it?
Well,
we need to find a
okay.
vaccine, because a virus, once you get the virus, there's no cure.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the call, Mark. Let's pull the reins here for a minute.
Oh no.
One, yes, we have Big Pharma to the rescue. We talked about it on the show Friday. All of our big pharma companies, the whipping boys of the political class, are looking at drugs they currently have, as well as compounds in drugs like HIV related drugs, to see if there is medicinal value with respect to this coronavirus. There's a report out of Thailand that there's been promising results after treating a corona patient with a mix of two antiviral drugs usually used to treat HIV. So that's one issue. The other issue is NIH, our National Institute for Health, is suggesting they may have a cure for the virus, or an antidote to treat the virus as soon as April. That's number two. Number three, they're working on commoditizing the CDC's diagnostic test for the coronavirus so it can be distributed to medical providers.
Okay.
Number three, yes, there is this virology plant or laboratory in Wuhan, and there's some suggestion that they could have been developing
Releasing.
biological weapons there, and it somehow got out. We don't know that yet. Whatever I'm at, number
You're
five.
five.
The husband got it from his wife. Oh, you mean like when you get the flu from a family member? What we know so far, and yes, the Chinese lie about data, so you can't take it at face value. But now the virus has spread beyond mainland China.
Yeah, we have our first death in the Philippines from the coronavirus.
Yes, but the handle we have on it right now is the mortality rate is significantly lower than influenza, And most of those who have died are either seniors or people with pre-existing medical conditions. So let's just get a hold of ourselves here a little bit before, we start again walking around in body condoms and calling for all economic activity to stop. Dave in Racine, Wisconsin.
Greetings. Forgive me my paranoia, for I know what I do, but the question I have to ask is, can this be spread via contamination of merchandise, items like imports?
They're looking at that to see if the virus could, survive on products coming from China to America,
Dave,
and so far, no.
Dave, your beaver penis elixir is fine. Thanks for the call. Continue to medicate, as will I. Good piece in L.A. Times. Catherine Mason, she's an assistant professor of anthropology at Brown, and she's written a book on Chinese public health because in April 2003, I was evacuated from my post, she writes, teaching English in Guangzhou at the height of the SARS epidemic. I was 23. While transiting in Chicago on my way home to Philadelphia, I called my parents. That's when they informed me that they were not coming to pick me up. Convinced I was going to be patient zero for an American outbreak of SARS, they told me to take a cab to my sister's apartment, where they intended to lock me up for 10 days with only a bag of groceries and a DVD player to keep me company. I had no symptoms. I had not been in contact with any SARS patient. According to guidance from CDC at the time, that meant I was not a risk. Deciding that my parents were overreacting, I went to the worst possible place to travel when you might have a deadly disease, Manhattan. I did not have SARS and did not seed a new plague in Manhattan, but the message that SARS was a cause for panic was received not just by me, but eventually by my Chinese friends as well. And she contends that what's happened since the SARS outbreak, some almost 2 decades ago now, as she learned traveling back from and forth to China, the message that the Chinese received from that outbreak was that draconian actions in the name of infectious disease control are necessary, desirable, and should overtake any other public health concerns. 17 years later, the disease control apparatus has cranked into high gear with the coronavirus outbreak, quarantining tens of millions of China's own citizens, shutting down entire metropolises in the process. And once again, the international community is fueling panic and overreaction. The coronavirus is scaring people because it's new and not much is known about it. But what we can tell so far is that it's no Ebola. Most people who contract it recover just fine. The fatality rate appears to be considerably lower than SARS, and it's probably much lower than it appears right now, since so many cases are very likely going unreported, and mild versions of the virus are probably not being counted at all. Most fatalities, as I mentioned, among the elderly and those with pre-existing conditions. What is needed now is calm, both in China and throughout the global community. Citizens of all countries should stay home if they're ill and should wash their hands often. In any case, scientists should do their jobs in tracking and studying this new disease without inciting public panic. In the meantime, broad quarantines of the general population beyond those who are sick should be lifted. This is not the end of the world. Treating the coronavirus as if it were will do a lot more harm than good.
Well, the latest case that we have here in Chicago, the 60-year-old man who got it from his wife, he did not take the CTA or attend large gatherings, but he did travel to Cleveland more than 2 weeks ago.
We can afford to lose Cleveland.
Hey. And I think that's where the 1-year-old grandson might be. I know. They said he has a fever, and NBC reported that he's being quarantined, which is smart.
Tom in Deer Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. Where'd we hear that one before? This one's got all the usual suspects. You get the politicians, the demagogue, stimulating the conspiracy theorists we hear through. But what's really driving things is where the real money's at. And you look at the international markets, be it airline stocks, oil futures, hog futures, grain futures. There's
beaver penises.
There's people making billions of dollars out there. It's the usual thing. You drive the news cycle. There's a little something for everybody and a lot for very few.
All right, there you go. Thanks for the call, Tom. Rick in Downers Grove.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm going through life being paranoid about everything, but the worst thing is still believing that soccer's a sport. That's even worse.
Yeah. There's no cure for that virus either. Thanks, Rick. Ralph in Rantoul.
Isn't there one of those childhood things like how much would a beaver penis cure? I don't know. You can finish that.
How much would a woodchuck?
Yeah, I think the real thing out there, which is why they're trying to tamp down all of the hysterical action, is that Soylent Green is people, and now it's going to be their pets too.
Yeah.
There are hungry people. They need to feed their population. This is just all going right. That Wuhan place, those are not recipes for cures. Those are marinades.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Nice, Ralph. Thanks for the call.
And did you see the thing on the internet with the bat soup that they drink?
Yeah.
They really
No, I
drink
know.
bat soup.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, probably on special. Maybe it was like part of a prefix.
Okay.
Mike on the north side.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Amy, I don't know what you're spreading, but congratulations on being the only Chicago radio morning host who can use beaver and penis together in the same sentence so many times and not get blocked out. But I wanted to say, isn't it ironic?
Yes.
In China, other people's pets are making them sick, when over here in this country, they take other people's pets and serve them up for dinner.
Yeah,
the ironies abound. Thanks for the call, Mike. Also, this, the real virus over in China is communism. There's a great cartoon over the weekend from Pat Cross, which I posted on my Facebook page.
Oh, do I have to go to your Facebook page?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I need the traffic. New York Times report. The government's initial handling of the epidemic allowed the virus to gain a tenacious hold. At critical moments, officials chose to put secrecy and order ahead of openly confronting the growing crisis. They did a reconstruction of the 7 weeks before the appearance of the first case in early December and the government's decision to lock down Wuhan. And in those weeks, New York Times reports through these interviews they conducted, authorities silenced doctors and others for raising red flags. They played down the dangers to the public, leaving the city's, Wuhan's, 11 million residents unaware they should protect themselves. They closed a food market where the virus was believed to have started, but didn't broadly curb the wildlife trade. And they go on to detail this, but it's no surprise. I mean, you mentioned Chernobyl earlier, and it's not.
Yeah, remember that horrible episode where they had to go back and kill all the animals?
Yeah, it's not a disaster on that level, obviously. But the approach of the command control authorities who need control in order to stay in power, the approach in a public health crisis, whether it's a Chernobyl or it's a viral outbreak, is very similar. And it should be instructive about how we understand central planning.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. ExxonMobil reports lower profits. President Trump and Michael Bloomberg spending a lot of money on Super Bowl ads. Atari plans to open video game-themed hotels. Those stories next. Albert Einstein once said the only way to predict the future is to look at the past. History proves financial markets have patterns. What goes up must eventually come down. Lou Dobbs here, and the market is up, higher than it's ever been in history. But it may not stay that high without an eventual adjustment. And if it comes down, stocks could tumble quickly. Don't wait to protect your money until it's too late. Your entire retirement portfolio could be at risk in one day. My advice? Visit GoldIRA Kit.com and learn how Goldco feels you can protect and secure your retirement savings now. Get a free Gold IRA Kit from Goldco by visiting GoldIRAKit.com and fill out a simple form. The folks at Goldco will help you set up a self-directed IRA that puts you in control of your money. Just call 855-815-GOLD or go to GoldIRAKit.com today. President Trump and Democratic candidate Michael Bloomberg both spending $10 million for 60 seconds of airtime during last night's Super Bowl. Bloomberg highlighting his efforts to combat gun violence while the president focused on the strong economy. ExxonMobil's profits fell more than 5% in the fourth quarter. Low natural gas prices and weak margins in other operations contributing to that decline. Arcade game company Atari opening 8 video game-themed hotels across the country. Atari will break ground on its first hotel later this year in Phoenix. On the economic calendar today, the latest on the ISM Manufacturing Index and the Construction Spending Report. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Limu, when we're not telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, I've actually been moonlighting as a DJ. Check it! Here's the good part! Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
When you're diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer,
1 million questions flood your mind.
How can this be happening?
Am I going to be able to work?
What's a subtype?
What do I do now?
We know.
We went through it too.
But once you start to understand your options,
you can partner with your doctor
and find ways to face MBC on your own terms.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com and learn how to speak up and have a more informed conversation with your doctor.
Some questions have answers.
Visit findyourmbcvoice.com to find some of yours.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and on radio.com.
The first 2020 contest is tonight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The tenor in the Democratic Party is ABT. Anybody but Trump.
He will caucus for Bernie Sanders tonight, but this Trump supporter in Iowa says
they don't have anything to offer that Trump is not already doing.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers is live in Des Moines.
Dave, caucus goers will gather tonight at 7 o'clock in support of their candidates, several of whom have been flying back and forth to Washington to serve in the president's impeachment trial in the Senate. That's where 4 of them, Senators Sanders, Warren, Klobuchar, and Bennett, will be today as well. Now, this evening, many of the candidates have caucus night events here in Des Moines, including former Vice President Joe Biden and Mayor Pete Buttigieg. It caps more than a year of candidates courting voters in this state, Dave.
Tanya, in 3 hours, closing arguments start at the Trump impeachment trial. Adam Schiff is one of the House Democrats acting as prosecutors, and he told CBS Face the Nation.
We're still going to go into the Senate this week and make the case why this president needs to be removed. It will be up to the senators to make that final judgment, and the senators will be held accountable for it.
Now, an acquittal is looming Wednesday.
They don't care about fairness. They don't care about lying. You look at the lies.
The president told the Fox Super Bowl pregame it's nonsense. As for the game, the Chiefs won. Let's go! And that was the celebration from Kansas City. It's the first time the Chiefs have won the title in 50 years, beating San Francisco 31-20. The coronavirus, now blamed for 361 deaths in China, more than 17,000 people infected. 11 of those cases are in the U.S., which is putting more restrictions on travel. No non-citizen will be allowed into this country from China or if they've been to China recently. There was a shooting a few hours ago on a Greyhound bus on Interstate 5 in California as it drove from L.A. to San Francisco early this morning. 6 people got shot, taken to a hospital. The gunman is in custody. America's listening to Fox News. Skies are fair, 33 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Authorities say a Chicago firefighter responding to an overnight car fire was shot in the leg. Fire Commissioner Richard Ford says firefighters arrived on the scene when someone began shooting. Firefighters took cover. One 6-year department veteran was struck in the lower leg and expected to make a full recovery. 15-year-old boy was killed in a shooting in Chicago's West Englewood neighborhood on Sunday. Chicago police tell us the teen was on South Marshfield around 4 p.m. when 3 suspects jumped out of an SUV and attacked the teen. Then a gunman fired, hitting the victim multiple times. The teen, who has not been identified, was reportedly pronounced dead at Comer Children's Hospital after being transported there. The Inspector General of Chicago Public Schools, whose investigations led to the removal of 2 former CEOs, now faces scrutiny himself for allegedly berating employees. Sun-Times reporting complaints about Nicholas Schuler have led the board to hire an outside firm to investigate. Mayor appoints the Inspector General to a 4-year term. Experts say aging infrastructure could be adversely affecting operations at steel mills along Lake Michigan shoreline in northwest Indiana. Anthony Sindone is an assistant professor at Purdue University, says many U.S. steel mills are more than a century old. The Gary Works suffered extensive flooding just before Thanksgiving. 19th-ranked Illinois fell short in a 72-65 loss at number 18 Iowa. Bulls outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors in Toronto. Chiefs, champions of Super Bowl 54. The news service of Staples. At Staples, save up to 40% all month long on select chairs like desk or executive chairs for the office and gaming chairs for your home. If you're outfitting your home, your office, or your home office, hurry into your local Staples. There's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 2/29/20 while supplies last. Staples. 7:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Steve Cortez.
One of my favorite books as a junior high student, The Outsiders. Well, when it comes to politics, we in the America First movement, we're the greasers. We're the outsiders. I'm okay with being an outsider. You probably are as well. Being a conservative in Chicago. I'm unafraid of being a Trump advocate on CNN. And I'm unafraid about being a Christian trying to raise a faith-filled family in a world that's often hostile.
The Steve Cortez Show. Weeknights at 5, right before Larry Elder at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Backed by popular demand, the 2020 Tinley Park Golf Show, February 7th through the 9th at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Show hours are Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 5, and Sunday 11 to 4. Enjoy a true golfing experience with driving range demo area and reps from Callaway, Wilson, Tour Edge, Cobra, TaylorMade, and Mizuno. Compete in the skills challenges for the longest drive, closest to the pin, and the long putt. Daily winners and top 10 in long drive and closest to the pin compete Sunday afternoon at 2 for a $500 cash prize. Browse aisles of newly released equipment and apparel from Chicagoland's top retailers at the Tinley Park Golf Show. Plus, check out the live telecast of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am at the famous Parmesan's 19th Hole Bar and Lounge. For tickets and hotel information, go to TinleyParkConventionCenter.net. TinleyParkConventionCenter.net. For area information, go to VisitChicagoSouthland.com. That's VisitChicagoSouthland.com.
Staples Print and Marketing Services gives your candidate or business a kickstart with custom color marketing materials. Save 25% when you order 2 or more signs, posters, or banners. Ends 2/29/20. Must order 2 or more of the same item for discount. See store staples.com/print25.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com.
7:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
In Elk Grove Village, Landmeyer is blocked west of 83 with a semi into a building. Riverside, eastbound Ogden is blocked. Harlem to Clinton with a crash. And there's northbound I-57. All traffic still forged off at 147th or Sibley in Harvey due to a major collision. Traffic's jammed from 159th Street. Bishop Ford Freeway traffic still fairly light, about 20 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. The Ryan runs 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown is 30 minutes, outbound it's 38. Inbound Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson now 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Northbound Tri-State it's heavy, the Mile Long Bridge to 75th. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, clouds through much of this day, high 42, and snow crops up overnight, a low of 30. It's 33 right now. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with Stephen Leahy. Every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and a couple of housekeeping items here. Number one, Puxatawny filled, no shadow, so early spring. So
well, yeah.
We got that going for us,
And then he
which
did
is nice.
a car commercial yesterday with Bill Murray.
Yeah, that was lame.
Oh, I thought that was adorable.
I love Bill Murray, but that was just lame.
And his brother was
funny.
in it. Oh,
Not
it was
funny.
a spoof off the movie Groundhog Day.
I picked up on that.
And what a great relationship he and they have in his new Rubicon Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. John.
Couple other housekeeping items
together too.
When we were talking about coronavirus, I think I must have said, because somebody caught me on it.
What?
Getting the last chopper out of Hanoi, I made that reference. Of course, it would be the last chopper out of Saigon. So I apologize for that I guess I have Hanoi Jane on the mind because I have Dick Blumenthal on the mind, so I'm thinking Stolen Valor. Anyway, I wasn't thinking. And then also, we just want to update Amy's breaking story about beaver penises.
Yeah, it actually was deer penises.
Yeah, the beaver penis story about 12 tons of beaver penis being confiscated by Chinese authorities.
I guess it was there. I mean, I'm
It's
reading.
satire.
It's satire.
Not true.
But they do use deer penis and other penises from animals as an aphrodisiac.
That's what I've heard.
In Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
No, they do.
Yeah. No, of course. But I mean, for people that may be
the beaver
looking
thing.
online.
Sorry, it wasn't beaver, it was deer.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Well,
I'm owning it, Dan.
Well, you want to get your aphrodisiac right. So if people are looking online for enhancements, I want to make sure they're looking deer penis, not beaver penis. Which is a perfect segue to our friend Jim Carafano.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I'm sure he appreciates that. These are the serious, heady matters that we talk about when we're not talking to you, Jim.
Yeah, I can't hear you. There's a lot of static on the line.
Yeah, exactly, right. Jim Carafano, VP of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation. And Jim, if we could take a cleansing breath, because we need one here. Mike Pompeo was in Ukraine meeting with President Zelensky, and he said this about the two countries, and most specifically about U.S. support for Ukraine, which is ongoing.
Today, I'm here with a clear message. The United States sees that the Ukrainian struggle for freedom, democracy, and prosperity is a valiant one. Our commitment to support it will not waver. As I told President Zelensky earlier today, the commitment starts with our strong support for his efforts to strengthen democratic institutions in this country.
And, of course, there was the question about when are Zelensky and Trump going to meet, and are there going to be any preconditions for that meeting, like, investigating Burisma. And, of course, Pompeo said no. They'll meet when time is appropriate. Zelensky said the same thing. We'll meet when there's been substantive things accomplished so we can talk about substantive things rather than just have a photo op. But the timing of Pompeo over there in Ukraine with Zelensky against the backdrop of the forthcoming acquittal on Wednesday, I thought was interesting. How did you read that?
Yeah, I think there's kind of three big messages. That's certainly one is the United States is signaling that from the administration's perspective, the impeachment is behind us now. We all need to get back to the bilateral relationship, and people shouldn't be risk averse about going to Ukraine, talking to Ukrainians. That we have more important things we need to move on. Clearly, Ukraine is an important part of a stable Europe. This administration's actually been committed to that since day one. I mean, look, we can't be Pollyannish. The president's always been skeptical and critical of Ukrainians. He thought they were working with the Democrats against him in the election. He believes there's widespread corruption there, so he's always been a little skeptical. But having said that, for 3 years, his administration, under his direction, has been rock solid in support for Ukraine. And I think the third one is I think we all have to kind of acknowledge that Zelensky's turning out to be the real deal. I mean, I think many of us, doesn't matter what you thought about Ukraine, we're skeptical. Could this former actor really deliver have a serious anti-corruption campaign, really lead his country, stand up to Putin. So far, he's done extremely well, and I think he makes a great partner for the United States.
And do you think that's one of the reasons why President Trump held back on giving him the aid at first? Because he is a former comedian and he never held public office before.
I do. I think the United States, not just the president, but I think a lot of people were very curious. I mean, not curious, but very worried that was he actually going to be a real leader? And I think the other area in which he's actually demonstrated, remarkable acumen is in kind of managing the Ukraine-U.S. relationship through the impeachment. He certainly didn't throw the administration under the bus. On the other hand, he really didn't give, in a sense, the other side anything to say, oh, well, you're just kind of sucking up to Trump. And so he really, I think, maintained a very professional bilateral relationship and really kind of giving neither side an excuse in a sense to say, oh, well, you're just pro those guys or pro those guys. So I think he gets super high marks.
Trump delivers his State of the Union address tomorrow night. What are the notes that you would like him to hit, that you would recommend he hit if you were advising him when it comes to being forward-looking about national security and other geopolitical matters?
Well, I mean, I think what we're going to get is what would you get in a second Donald Trump term, which I think is quite honestly what everybody wants to hear on kind of both sides of this. I do this all the time. I talk to people and they always go, oh, my God, Trump in his second term will be unrestrained. And I go, what makes you ever think Trump was restrained?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that if there was something he really wanted to do, he wouldn't have just done it. So it's not that that he is restrained. It's just that what will you do at 4 more years? I think immigration and legal immigration reform will be a big thing on the table. The future to additional trade deals, additional trade innovation, I think that's going to be out there. I think probably, you'd want to see, he's offered, whether it's the Chinese for round 2 negotiation or the North Koreans on denuclearization or the Iranians on an opportunity to return and renegotiate JPCOA, or even the Russians to better bilateral relationships with the U.S. and the West. Those are going to be repeated. I don't know if they're going to be repeated in the State of the Union address, but I expect those to be repeated at some point. Then there are, I think, big domestic questions like, is the president going to tackle deficit spending? Is he going to tackle retirement reform? Is there another phase in criminal justice reform? And there's lots of questions about what would be on the domestic menu in the second term.
Well, how much time do you think he should spend on impeachment? Should he just address that right away and then move on?
Or yeah, I mean, the problem is half the people in the room were trying to get rid of him. So it's a little awkward. I think it's historically unprecedented that we've ever had well, of course it is, that we've ever had a president actually give a State of the Union address in the process of actually being impeached. The point is
Bill Clinton did.
Did he? Okay,
Yeah.
well there you go.
Yeah.
But and I don't even remember that. So obviously, but I guess the real question is what's the decorum of the room? I mean, I think all Americans would like to see every member of Congress and the President of the United States act with decorum and recognize that this is a moment that's bigger than them. And so that I don't think it's an issue for discussion in the State of the Union address. It's the State of the Union, not the state of the president. And so the appropriate thing would be for everybody to just sit there and respect the office of the president and for the president to respectfully use that time. My guess is that's what we ought to expect.
Well, I hope, although it's going to be very difficult for him to resist a zinger or two, just, something like...
He's face-to-face with Adam Schiff for the first time.
Hey, everybody, I'm still standing.
Hi, Adam Schiff.
What we've normally seen, though, when the president does a formal address, whether it was to the UN or we're actually a State of the Union address, he sticks to a script.
It's a
that's
different
what he
thing.
normally does.
Yeah, you're right. It's a different thing. I wanted to get your take on the extension of visa restrictions on a number of countries: Myanmar, Eritrea, Kyrgyzstan, and Nigeria. And this is all, again, related to, at least as we understand it, related to not doing enough to interdict terrorism in those countries. So that's still an issue that's in the the sort of national security portfolio.
Yeah, anyone who plays this for kind of a bigger, this says something about Trump or something, that's just ludicrous. I mean, this is literally a technical issue. You are not managing the travel of your citizens and the issuances of your passport correctly. Therefore, if you're not doing a legitimate job, we will refuse to work with you. It's just that simple. And what this administration does is they're upfront in their face about that. It's you're not following the rules. We're not going to play that game. That's all this is. It's all it's ever been. It was all it was the first time there was a travel ban.
And, of course, the issue that's been dominating the news, other than impeachment, is the last week has been coronavirus, with some cases in the United States now. And, of course,
11.
That's spreading in China to some other countries as well. Has the president taken the right posture on dealing with that and offering aid and support to the Chinese and combating it on their mainland?
Yeah, I think we have seen the administration really step up its game in the last week, and I think that's commensurate with global concern about the disease. The reality is it's not a super spreader. When you have people coming who are already infected in ones and twos, it doesn't appear as if it's being transmitted by casual contact. So even if they come in the country and they get sick when they're here, and they have intimate contact with someone who also gets sick, that's a very manageable problem. I think what we're learning is the real news story here, which nobody is discussing, is the fragility and the lack of capacity and the lack of management and the lack of transparency in the Chinese healthcare system. I mean, they're building hospitals. The reason why they're building hospitals is, when you treat pneumonia, which is what people are dying from, you have to put somebody in a hospital. They need, antiviral drugs and oxygen and rest and IVs. You can't do that at the corner drugstore, and they just don't have the medical capacity to deal with that. And this is, I think, the big story here is, what does this tell us about brand China? We have a country that's spending billions of dollars all over the world to spread its influence. They don't even have the medical capacity to take care of their own people in a flu epidemic. It's ridiculous.
All right, another story as to the wonders of central planning. That's one of the things.
Exactly.
Lieutenant Colonel Jim Carafano, Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If you need windows, call the exterior experts.
Call Crumweedy.
Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy. Well, they run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors now since 1953. And for them, it's all about trust, and they truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy? Now, Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They are exclusive, and that's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. A lifetime. That's a great investment for your home. Windows from Crumweedy are Energy Star rated, unlike most other windows. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality windows with a lifetime material and labor installation. Now, if your windows are needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. The name is not easy to spell. Just remember this. WindowsAreNeedy.com. WindowsAreNeedy.com.
Hey, we're just over a month into 2020. It seems like everyone is getting sick, from the common cold to the flu. And don't get me started about the coronavirus. You know how you can stay healthy this year? Boost your immune system. And you could do that by eating well, and that means getting enough fruits and veggies, which we have to admit we're not doing on our own. So that's where Balance of Nature comes in. I started taking Balance of Nature again, and I feel a lot better. I have more energy, I sleep better at night, and I'm not getting sick like I used to for the past 8 weeks. And with just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. Now, you hear the stories right here on this station about how people's lives have changed by taking Balance of Nature. And guess what? The next story could be yours, but you've got to order Balance of Nature today. Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself and make 2020 a year of better health. And right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today by calling 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
Good morning, America.
Or is it? If you're one of the millions of Americans who did not sleep well last night, it's probably a pretty average morning.
But listen up, you sleep-deprived people. There's good news. A breakthrough sleep solution called Pronto Sleep.
And when we say pronto, we mean pronto. Pronto Sleep gently opens your nose to focus breathing and help you relax and fall asleep. And the built-in scent diffuser delivers a blend of 4 pure essential oils to help you stay asleep naturally.
And then Pronto replenishes the oils ready for the next night. Too easy, eh?
And in trials, 84% of people with trouble sleeping found Pronto helped them fall asleep, and 74% found it helped them stay asleep. So make every morning a
Good Morning America.
With Pronto Sleep, available now at select Walgreens, Amazon, or at prontosleep.com.
Pronto Sleep from Rhinomed, bringing you advanced nasal therapies.
For over a half a century, Seven Dwarfs Family Restaurant has been feeding and putting smiles on the faces of hungry adults and kids. Their mouthwatering food and unique decor are why they're one of the oldest and most popular restaurants in DuPage County. I used to go there all the time as a kid. Get comfy in a table or booth, enjoy the colorful murals on the wall, and experience why generations of customers have made Seven Dwarfs their regular go-to spot for the best breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything on Seven Dwarfs' extensive menu is homemade from scratch, including 3 to 4 daily specials and a choice of 2 homemade soups. And be sure to save room for Seven Dwarfs' popular ice cream and sundaes. When you're craving a truly delicious home-cooked meal but don't feel like cooking, visit Seven Dwarfs Family Restaurant on Roosevelt Road in Wheaton. At Roosevelt and President on Wheaton's east side, Seven Dwarfs is open every day from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Visit sevendwarfsrestaurant.com or call 630-653-7888. Host and owner Sam Sadiku looks forward to serving and welcoming you to Seven Dwarfs family of happy diners.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, you played with Barbies growing up, didn't you?
I did. I had one Barbie doll, and then I had a $6 Million Man doll.
Uh-huh.
You know, Lee Majors.
Love
that doll.
Was your $6 Million Man, was that anatomically correct?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
what's the first thing you did when you got the $6 Million Man? You pulled down his pants, right?
No, I didn't. I looked through his eye because he had the bionic eye.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thought that was so cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mattel, the maker of Barbie dolls, announced the addition of new dolls.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Many, many new dolls. 32, I think, is the number. Or no, I'm sorry. Let's see what. 9 unique body types, 35 skin tones, and 94 different hairstyles, including bald. Mm-hmm. Okay. One of the Barbie dolls is in a wheelchair. One of the Barbie dolls has vitiligo. One the skin.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We are proud that Barbie is the most diverse doll line on the market that continues to evolve to better reflect the world girls see around them. Our commitment to better reflect the world drives a powerful conversation, and we know our efforts are resonating with 8 consecutive quarters of growth in the fashionistas category, up double digits in 2019. Yeah.
Well, they have a Barbie doll with a prosthetic leg. They have, it looks like a transitioning Barbie doll.
Oh, sure, you got to have the gender fluid.
But I don't know if he's going to male or transitioning to a female or to a male.
What about, I don't see...
Purple hair Barbie.
I don't see like a pygmy. I don't see an Inuit Eskimo. It's not the full rainbow. But what do you think about that? When you think about all these Barbies, girls see the world around them and body types and all that sorts of things, rather than this impossible ideal, like on the cover of women's magazines. This impossible ideal, this body type that isn't reflective of a real body type because it's airbrushed and it's messed up and it's this and that. This plastic dolls, the old Barbie that was unattainable, just like the old Ken was unattainable for me. Did I want the chiseled chin and the flowing blonde locks? Of course I did, but I couldn't achieve that, and so I felt bad about myself
Your
up
whole
until the
life?
last 6 months. I was not comfortable in my own skin because I'm like, why can't I be more like the Ken doll?
I wanted to be more shapely, like Barbie doll, but I got teased all the time. Oh, you look like a Barbie doll. So hey, I welcome these new things.
Yeah.
I welcome the different color skin types, the one that's in a wheelchair, one with a prosthetic leg.
Now, if you shave your head, now people will say you look like a Barbie doll.
Exactly.
And won't that be a better world we're all living in?
Now, do you still play with dolls, Dan?
I don't play with dolls.
Did you ever play with dolls?
No, I didn't play with.
Remember the song "Billy Has a Doll"?
I played with action figures.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I played Shogun Warriors.
Right.
Yeah, I played. I had the $6 million
You didn't have
man
Barbie's
doll.
penthouse?
I did not have any Barbie
I didn't
dolls
have
because I'm not a chick.
Okay.
And do I
Is
think
it weird that I had the $6 million man
It's
doll,
a-
which
it's
I
a-
still wish I still had?
it's a little weird.
Oh, I loved it. I loved
It's
that
a little
show.
weird.
But then they
Yeah.
had the Bionic Woman doll right after that.
Yeah.
I bought her too.
Yeah.
So they could be together, like they are in the show.
Right. Yeah. Right. What about Peyton and Eli? You let them play? Did they have Barbie Dreamhouse growing up?
They didn't.
No, of course.
But Andrew had an Easy Bake Oven when he was 4. That's all he wanted for Christmas was an Easy Bake Oven. And yet they don't all come in pink anymore, okay? There's some.
Well, that's.
But you know
you're
what?
talking
It
about
led
Peyton.
to a
That's-
culinary
Yeah, Peyton
experience
was
for him.
interested
He
in
now
cooking.
cooks for us.
Yeah, he was
And
he's
he's
like a chef.
Fantastic cook.
Yeah, well, that's a little bit different. What about all this? What about all this? And what about all the whole because it needs to be reflective of the
Society that we live in.
the cross section of women in the world.
You know what though? But they're still all skinny. I'm looking at these dolls. They need to have
There's 9 different
an
body
obese
types. Oh
Barbie.
yeah, exactly. That's the other thing too. Is the plus size models, and I'm not talking about plus size like a bigger woman who's
Like
like
a
otherwise
12
in
or
shape.
14?
I'm talking about like morbidly obese, and we're all supposed to say, "Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful." I can't tell the difference between a morbidly obese woman rolling around in the sand and Heidi Klum walking down a runway. I can't say. They're exactly. That's exactly the same level of beauty. I can't tell the difference. We're supposed to live in this fictional world. That's the politically correct world, and you know what political correctness is a synonym, right? For
What?
lying. That's lying.
I've seen that photo shoot. Whew.
Mark in
A
Plainfield.
lot there.
Yeah, my daughter would like to be included in this Barbie stuff. So is there a Barbie with a MAGA hat?
Yeah, I'll run that up the flagpole at Mattel there, Mark. You may have to fashion your own MAGA hat at home. I don't think that's one of the accessories it comes with.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to author Chris Smith. Talk a little bit of pop culture with Chris Smith because he has written a book about The Daily Show, among other things. That's at 7:37.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Mike, I have to tell you, somebody on my plane yesterday back from Mexico was talking about you.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
You sure it wasn't the pitcher for
No.
the Houston Astros?
Absolutely
Okay.
loves you. Thinks you're the best newsman
Well, thank you.
in the city of Chicago.
Well, thank you.
And I wanted to pass that along.
Much appreciated.
What did that person say about you? You, Amy.
I won't tell you what they said about you, Dan.
She crazy. She coronavirus
She gone
crazy.
crazy, man.
33 degrees outside. Fair skies for the morning. Spanish officials have just shut down Madrid's airport because of reports of major drones in the area. 2 pilots claim they saw drones near the airport that activated protocols that call for all landings and takeoffs to be halted. Planes are being diverted at the moment. 6 have been shot on a Greyhound bus in Lebec, California. Suspect is in custody, but officials have not given any word on the conditions of the victims or a possible motive. For the first time in 50 years, Kansas City, the Chiefs, Super Bowl champions with a come-from-behind win over the 49ers last night in Miami. Running back Damian Williams, who added a pair of scores in last night's big game, says this morning victory is still sinking in.
It still don't feel real yet, but it's amazing. I'm enjoying every moment of it.
2020 Democrat primary season gets underway today with the Iowa caucuses. Polls show Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are the front runners.
Getting in front of every caucus goer that I can. We're firing up our precinct captains and the great ground organization that we have, making sure that we leave it all on the field.
Pete Buttigieg is speaking this morning. Elizabeth Warren also in the running for one of the top 4 spots in the Iowa caucuses. The U.S. is limiting travel over the spread of the deadly coronavirus. Foreigners who have been in China Over the past couple of weeks are banned from entering the U.S. American citizens who have traveled to the area where the outbreak is centralized will be quarantined for 2 weeks. One person was found dead in an apartment fire overnight in Aurora. First responders arrived at the senior apartment complex just after midnight. The two-alarm fire was reportedly contained to one apartment. A state trooper was hurt after a crash closed portions of I-57 this morning. All northbound lanes were shut down at 147th near Riverdale after the crash involving two vehicles. A 19-year-old man died after a shooting in Elmwood Park Sunday. Police say the 19-year-old was shot outside of a home in the 2800 block of North 77th Avenue. Police believe the victim knew the person who shot him. Two Chicago police officers were hurt in a rollover crash on the south side early this morning. Officers were in marked police sedans and SUVs traveling southbound on South Yates when the SUV was struck in the intersection at 85th Street, which caused that car to roll over on its side. Fighting Illini fell short in a 72-65 loss at number 18 Iowa. Bulls outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors in Toronto. The news service of Staples. Staples has all the supplies for tax season this year, from tax forms to organizational supplies, and now you can save up to $15 on TurboTax software at Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 2/8/20 while supplies last. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On Tuesday, February 4th, President Donald Trump will deliver his State of the Union address to Congress, to the country, and to the world. And we are throwing a party. And you're invited. It's a taste of freedom. The State of the Union viewing party, presented by healthinsurancementors.com at Belvedere Banquets in Elk Grove Village. Enjoy dinner and drinks with fellow AM 560 listeners as you watch the president's speech. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/taste.
What would you do if you knew there was a place to learn step-by-step strategies designed to help you make the right moves inside the financial markets? A place to develop skills that can help you generate income and build confidence toward your retirement goals. At Online Trading Academy, we know there's an investor in all of us, and we know how to teach people just like you the skills and knowledge that could empower you to take better control of your financial future. Start by taking our free introductory class at a location near you. Learn about the biggest mistakes investors make and how you can learn to avoid them. Plus, you'll learn strategies that could help you make your money work harder for you. For over 20 years, Online Trading Academy has been teaching students skills designed to help them learn to invest with the confidence of the pros.
Call 844-778-7132 for 2 free tickets to a class in your area and receive our Professional Insiders Kit with lessons from our top instructors just for attending. That's 844-778-7132. 844-778-7132 or visit otaclass.com.
Safety. It's so important at your industrial facility. You need to keep your personnel safe and meet OSHA requirements. One problem with your ladders, platforms, or safety guards, and you could be facing costly fines. Vans Industrial helps you meet OSHA standards to keep your employees safe.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. As a business owner, I realize the importance of keeping my employees safe, and I'm here to offer my expertise. Vans Industrial is a specialty contractor uniquely equipped to design, fabricate, and install safety equipment, including walkways, handrails, stairways, and machinery guards. Our Vans Industrial team can inspect existing systems, engineer solutions, fabricate quality goods, and install them with trained pros, all making a safer environment for your employees.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Get the best sleep of your life. Helix makes personalized mattresses to fit your unique body type and sleep preferences. Go to helixsleep.com and get up to $200 off during their holiday sale.
It is 7:37 and a check of the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Jim Talamonte.
Northbound I-57 traffic is jammed. 159th to 147th where all traffic is forced off. That's Sibley, 147th there in the Harvey area. Major crash and ongoing investigation. Bishop Ford Freeway is relatively light as an alternate, looking at about 20 minutes from 8094 to the right. Edens runs 21 minutes like Cook to Montrose. The Kennedy, 42 minutes O'Hare to downtown. No savings in the Express, though. Eisenhower, 45 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays are from the 83rd Street toll to the Mylong Bridge and from Reagan Toll right to the Grand Avenue Curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Jim Calamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Mostly cloudy for the day, high 42. Currently, we have mostly fair skies, 33 at O'Hare, 36 Lakefront. And your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, and your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So the leader at the turn is Bolshevik Bernie, and he closed the show, making his final argument, so to speak, yesterday with a video posted featuring White Stripes as a seven-nation army. So he's hip and cool because he's the only one with voters under the age of 45.
You can tell how good I feel by how nervous the establishment is getting. Suddenly, Donald Trump is talking about our campaign. Suddenly, we have the Democratic establishment very nervous about this campaign. We got Wall Street nervous. We got the insurance companies nervous. We got the drug companies nervous. We got the fossil fuel industry nervous. We are their worst nightmare.
Bernie is surging. There's no question about it.
And Bernie Sanders has a lot of money.
No doubt.
Don't bring up Bernie Sanders because that's a red flag in front of me.
And they're starting to think, could this really happen?
Something's going on here because Bernie is rising. The CNN poll, he leads Biden. He leads Biden by 3 points among non-white voters.
Even if it's a Republican, sometimes you'll hear, well, you know, I still really like Bernie Sanders.
And he's got a fairly diverse coalition.
Bernie right now.
We got billionaires going on television crying that they're going to have to start paying their fair share of taxes.
They can be a hardcore Trump supporter. I like Bernie Sanders. He's honest. The most popular senator in the entire country.
Sanders now in the lead.
Could there really be a political movement in America which brings together blacks and whites and Latinos and Asian Americans and Native Americans, gay and straight, to stand up as working class people fighting for change?
Workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your affiliation with the Democrat establishment is the message. And it seems to be resonating, according to most recent surveys in the early states, Iowa and New Hampshire specifically, but not limited to Iowa and New Hampshire. As I mentioned, we talked about earlier in the show, lapping the field in California right now. The delegate sweep there would be something. And
what about Nevada, too?
He's right there with Biden in Nevada. So could Bernie Sanders actually be a snowball rolling downhill after the first two states? For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Chris Smith, author of The Daily Show, the book, An Oral History as Told by Jon Stewart, the correspondent, staff, and guest. He's also a contributing editor to New York Magazine and a contributor to Vanity Fair. Chris, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome. So did you actually bet the Chiefs?
I did bet the Chiefs. Yes.
He's a great gambler.
Congratulations.
Yes. I wasn't selfish either. I said on Friday to our friends and listening audience,
you said
take the Chiefs and lay the 1.5. That's easy money. Pat Mahomes is special.
Well,
you always go with the special athlete, and that's Pat Mahomes. So there you go.
And Kansas City, that's in Illinois, right?
Kansas City's in Kansas, but President Trump deleted that tweet and then put it in.
But Illinois is one of the 57 states, Chris. Okay, go back and forth all day on this. All right, so give us your handle on Bernie and whether or not the establishment of the Democratic Party, which has been worried about this for a couple of weeks, they saw the tide turning in his direction and continues to be, per an op-ed by Rahm over the weekend in the Wall Street Journal. They're right to be concerned, aren't they?
Oh, for sure. And the only surprising element in this to me is that they were so slow on the uptake. I mean, I wrote about this 6 months ago, and Vanity Fair that Bernie's hardcore support is still with him from 2016, and that's a very solid base of about 20%. And he's run a fairly smart campaign and added some star power to it with AOC and Michael Moore. You know, whether you like them or hate them, they certainly attract a lot of attention. And the opposition, you know, has been running, a lot of them, Klobuchar, Biden, Buttigieg, in a crowded, moderate, centrist kind of lane. And Warren's started out strong and then fumbled around. So Bernie's, you know, got a message. He's got a hard core of support. And it's shocking to me that the establishment and the other candidates in the race waited so long to go at him directly. And I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, but then he had a heart attack in the middle of that 8 months, and I thought, you know, that it was over for him. Didn't you at all? I mean, because then his name was out of it, and then impeachment trial started, and you didn't really hear a lot from the candidates.
I did, yes. And that seemed like both physically and politically that was going to be a major setback. And, you know, don't wish ill health on anybody in politics of any stripe. And in a strange way, his recovery, which appears to be complete, has helped humanize him a bit, both on the campaign trail. He's a little looser and more empathetic than he had been in the past.
Oh.
And it made him, you know, a more interesting story. It added an element to the narrative that the media always likes. And, you know, the human element to the story is one of the things he was missing in 2016 against Hillary. And I don't know, you may see people trying to make more of his age and his health if he actually does win Iowa. But again, it's after 6 or 9 months of laying off him, it's not going to have a whole lot of effect.
Well, and here's the thing, too. I think there was an underestimation of the stickiness of the Bernie supporter from 2016. Oh, he came as close as he did to the nomination just because of the distaste for Hillary. That's certainly a part of it, but the other part of it was, no, they really like Bernie, and he gets credit for being ahead of the learning curve and taking on Hillary, taking on the Democrat establishment that a lot of the base of the party wants taken on or replaced or refashioned. And so he comes to the table with not just a base from which to fundraise in 2020, but also that credibility that you can't otherwise buy, even if you're Mike Bloomberg.
Certainly. And his theory of the case, whether you like it or not, has been loud and clear and consistent. And the contrast with Trump for the past 3 years has only helped Bernie. Now, all that comes with a big asterisk. I was in Iowa much of last week, and there are a lot of undecided folks.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
you see it in polls where 43%, the most recent one I was looking at, said they're not 100% sure about their choice. And the weirdness of the Iowa caucus process with second choices and people publicly, you know, identifying their support. There's a lot that's going to be in flux here right down to the end.
Any hope for Pete Buttigieg?
Yeah.
Our former intern
You
at
know.
Channel 5. I can't pronounce his name.
Mayor
Never have been
Pete.
able. Because I thought maybe he'd
Yeah,
gain
Mayor
some
Pete.
traction once the 4 senators were away at the impeachment trial, because I used to live in Iowa, and Iowans love face-to-face time, and he had a lot of it those 2 weeks.
Certainly. Yeah, that's definitely working in his favor. Also working in his favor is that he's been trying to sell a unity message that he's going to bring everyone together after Election Day. And the squabbling that we've seen renewed between largely Biden and Sanders and Warren may play to his advantage, that he's a more anodyne, palatable, middle-of-the-road kind of candidate. You know, his youth certainly helps him. The fact that 3 of the contenders are in their 70s is not popular with a lot of voters. So, yeah, I mean, if You told me a year ago that the former mayor of South Bend had a real shot at finishing a strong second in the Iowa caucuses. He would have to count that as an enormous victory.
It's the interesting piece in the New Yorker about Bernie Sanders being the front runner, and the authors of this piece right. It's common to describe the present split within the Democratic Party as pitting its left against its center. A different way to put it is the party is split between its likely future and its current reality. An Emerson poll of Iowa this week found 44% of Democrats under 50 support Sanders, 10% favor Warren. No other candidate is in double digits. You'd think a growing coalition of this size would be enticing to other Democrats, but it's not. Sanders is not being endorsed by very many of his colleagues at whether the federal level or even at the state level, as compared to some of his other competitors. So it's very interesting that there's this momentum, there's this coalition that he has that is largely young, at least relative to his opponents, and yet so many Democrats want to stay far away from him.
Yeah, I don't know that they want to stay far away from it so much as they haven't done a very good job of figuring out how to get closer to it. And, for Bernie, that's meant a very sharp economic inequality message, a very sharp sort of cultural and racial equality message, and the rest of them have not been willing to go in that direction. I mean, Bernie has also, for 4 years, starting in 2015 and 2016, done a really sophisticated job of reaching people on the web, of, organizing his campaign at a grassroots level. And the rest of them, have tried, but have not broken through on that front.
And with respect to Biden, when does Obama-land get more involved than just dispatching John Kerry to Biden if it's going to be, if it does turn out to be sort of Biden versus Bernie binary?
Yeah, I mean, certainly you would think in New Hampshire and in Nevada, we've seen a little bit of that already in Nevada. But if it's neck and neck, that's one thing. If Biden stumbles here in Iowa, the real dynamic I think you're going to see, and there's already signs of it from folks I've talked to in that Democratic establishment, is people looking very quickly to Mike Bloomberg as a savior, that he's got unlimited money, he's got a deep record, far from perfect, as a three-term mayor of New York City. And he's also clearly gotten under Trump's skin very quickly. And
could you see
Biden
those two?
falters, I think they go running to Bloomberg.
I mean, can you imagine Bloomberg and Trump in a debate? Two bombastic New Yorkers screaming. I mean, it would be a circus.
Well, I don't know if Bloomberg is bombastic. He's sort of the anti-Trump charisma-wise, but
he's feisty.
Yeah, well, right. There'll be a lot of sparring, as there was over the debate box comment already. But here, the thing about Bloomberg that's so interesting is, aren't they playing right into Bernie's hands again, as they did 4 years ago? You had them railing against Bloomberg buying his way into the debate stage over the weekend. You had them railing against John Podesta being named to the DNC committee. I mean, aren't they setting up the very choice that Bernie wants set up?
Yes, you're exactly right. I mean, the Bloomberg candidacy is a gift to both Bernie and to Trump. To Bernie in the sense that if, as looks likely now, Bernie comes out of Iowa and New Hampshire strong, he would love that contrast of, us not me versus the Wall Street plutocrat in the remaining Democratic primaries. And then, further down the road for Trump, the Bloomberg candidacy is a good thing because it just muddies the field and creates more chaos on the Democratic side. The longer that continues, the less the Democrats are coming together behind a single nominee, the better that is for Trump. So, yeah, he's been taking a lot of personal sort of insult shots at Bloomberg, but there's a method to it. Just stirring the pot, keeping things chaotic on the Democratic side benefits Trump.
He is Chris Smith. He's the author of The Daily Show, the book, An Oral History as Told by Jon Stewart, the correspondent, staff, and guests. He's also a contributing editor at New York Magazine and Vanity Fair. Chris, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. And my daughter just got into Northwestern, so
that's where I
we'll see you
went.
soon.
Oh, that's where I went. Yeah. All right, boy. Well, keep writing those articles. That's $270,000 you just signed up for.
No kidding. Yeah, exactly.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Balance of Nature has pushed me up a notch or two, I would say. I was feeling fine, but now I'm feeling even better. So I'm sure it's contributed.
I actually lost 2 inches off my waist. I'm really more energetic, too. I bounce out of bed in the mornings. People at work have been sick, and I haven't gotten anything. So something's working. Something is definitely changing. I think it's helping my immune system. I really do.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, if you're interested in learning about reverse mortgage loans, please listen to this recent story in Forbes. 56% of middle-income baby boomers mistakenly believe Medicare provides long-term care coverage, and finding ways to pay for long-term care is extremely important. One alternative homeowners should consider is a reverse mortgage. Medicare does not, I repeat, does not pay for costly long-term care. According to the Centers of Disease Control, in 2013, consumers invested over $300 billion on long-term care services. If you are an experienced homeowner concerned about affording a long-term care or an adult child, experienced homeowners concern, I can't read that well, you would be worried about winding up paying for your parents' long-term care, then you should call Team Hochberg's reverse mortgage loan expert, Jose Rodriguez. Call him now at 855-56-DAVID. Or visit reversedavid.com. That's a new website, reversedavid.com. Team Hochberg has helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but they can't help you if you don't call. 855-56-DAVID or visit reversedavid.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
It's so frustrating when you can't get good cellular reception in your building. Sometimes certain carriers are good in the building and some aren't. You don't have to just live with it. Contact Walsh Wireless and fix the problem. Walsh Wireless can help you get a good signal for all carriers in your building.
This is Mike Walsh. My company is ready to fix your bad cell reception in your building. We're a union shop and we can do work anywhere. Fixing this annoying problem is not as expensive as you might think. If you're a company, think how frustrating it is for your customers, how frustrating it is for your employees when they can't get a signal or it's a weak signal. It's bad business. It doesn't have to be that way, and we can help. We strive to save you both time and money by combining our deep experience, highest quality parts and equipment, and our dedication to delivering exceptional service. Nobody wants to be in a building with bad reception. Let's fix it.
Financing is available. Go to walshwireless.com, a proud IBEW contractor. walshwireless.com.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
AM 560. The Answer.
This is 60 Seconds of Sanity with Dan Proft. The timer starts now.
Now that Democrats aren't going to be able to cancel the 2020 presidential election, it's time for a stiff look at the Wall Street Journal's summary of the tax plans of the leading lights of the left. If the goal was to crater the U.S. economy, one could hardly have more effective designs than those of the Democrats. If it's true what you tax, you get less of, and it is, one might consider what doubling the capital gains tax would mean to business formation, job creation, and 401k valuation. Sanders' Soviet proposals would double federal spending and put half the American workforce in the employ of government. Warren's plans are as authoritarian in most places and more authoritarian in some. As Frederick von Hayek observed, to be controlled in our economic pursuits is to be controlled in everything. That's the DNC platform in a sentence. You don't like Trump? Fine. You don't have to hang out with him. But the animating question of the 2020 election is, do you like economic self-determination?
And that is 60 Seconds of Sanity.
It really is.
60 seconds. Total madness. This is 60 Seconds of Crazy with Amy J.
You all laugh at me, think it's funny that I wear rubber gloves and carry a mask. Last night, walking through the international terminal at O'Hare, you were able to see other passengers with masks on. But I want you all to know one thing. We are pronouncing the virus wrong. In Mexico, where they make Corona beer, they're not liking this at all. They say we're pronouncing it wrong, and this is how you should do it.
Coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
¿Qué conoces más?
Coronavirus.
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 Teaching baby how to speak. What if we go? What if we go with Takati virus? We just we'll at least get at least make the Corona people happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That'll be better. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll continue the discussion of Amy speaking Spanish and coronavirus with Dana Chang from the Epoch Times at 8:08.
And what America should do to protect ourselves. But now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Cook County Jail detainee dead after an apparent beating. We'll have that story for you. WIND Chicago News Time. It is 8 o'clock.
Iowa kicks off the 2020 voting tonight. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We want a winner. We want anybody but Trump.
He'll be one of the Democrats out caucusing tonight. Fox's Tanya J. Powers live in Des Moines.
Well, Dave, campaigning for president is busy enough without candidates running back and forth to their day job. But when it involves senators who are serving in the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump, it gets even more hectic. For the hours prior to this evening's Iowa caucus, 4 senators, Bennett, Klobuchar, Warren, and Sanders, are due in Washington. Other candidates are out today making those hours count to try and reach those undecided Iowa voters. And it all comes down to this evening, Dave.
Tanya, in 2 hours, closing arguments start at that trial.
There's nothing that I can see that we could have done differently because, as the senators have already admitted, we proved our case.
House impeachment manager Adam Schiff on CBS Face the Nation. President Trump keeps calling it all a Democrat hoax, telling the Fox Super Bowl pregame.
I think they just want to win, and it doesn't matter how they win.
As for the game, the Kansas City Chiefs won, so that sets up a parade Wednesday in Kansas City. That was the celebration last night when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl for the first time in 50 years, beating the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. The coronavirus keeps spreading in China. More than 17,000 people sick. 361 have died. The virus has also spread outside China, up to 11 confirmed cases in the U.S., the latest 2, a husband and wife in California who had recently gone to Wuhan, China.
We anticipate that we may have more cases simply due to the amount of travel that we have, although I expect that will tail off since the travel has tailed off.
Dr. Sarah Cody with the Santa Clara Public Health Department. Americans who've been to China in the past 2 weeks and come here will be taken to airports to be quarantined, and most non-citizens who've recently been to China won't even be allowed into the U.S. America's listening to Fox News.
Partly sunny and 36 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Homicide is being determined as the cause of a Cook County jail detainee's death over the weekend. Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has made that determination regarding the death of Pedro Ruiz. The Chicago man was reportedly found unresponsive in a cell with apparent head trauma overnight on Saturday. One person was found dead after an apartment fire in Aurora overnight. First responders arrived at a senior apartment complex on North Constitution Drive just after midnight. The 2-alarm blaze was reportedly contained to one apartment. A state trooper was hurt in a crash that has closed portions of I-57 this morning, the northbound lanes, near 147th, close to Riverdale. The trooper was hospitalized and is expected to recover. Another person injured is in serious condition. The Lincoln Park High School boys basketball team is having its season suspended. Chicago Public Schools made the decision to suspend the remainder of the season on Friday because of misconduct allegations. Actions taken by CPS now include removal of the school's interim principal and assistant principal, and CPS will discuss a transition plan for the high school at a meeting tonight. Andreas Feliz had 17 off the bench, but not enough. Its number 19 Illinois fell in a 72-65 loss at number 18 Iowa. Bulls outscored by 30 in the second half in a 129-102 loss to the Raptors in Toronto. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all of your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
China's markets traded lower after returning to business following an extended Lunar New Year break because of the coronavirus. However, the decline was not as dramatic as feared. Apple shares are lower after the company announced it has closed its stores and corporate offices in China until February 9. You could own a piece of Peet's Coffee. Parent company JAB Holdings recently merged Peet's with JDE Coffee, parent company of Maxwell House and others, and now it wants JDE Peet's to sell stock, which could be listed in Amsterdam. WorldCom's disgraced former CEO Bernie Ebbers has died. He was 78. He was released in December after serving 13 of his 25-year prison sentence at the request of his family because he was suffering from dementia and was legally blind. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
WIND News Time is 8:04. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity can't believe we are where we are.
It's just every question is answered. This was so frustrating to me, watching all of this shift show. How is it even possible we are here? How is this possible? Especially knowing all that we know. It shouldn't be.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
We're all aware of national dealers that sell gold and silver. But national dealers? It sounds so impersonal and far away. Guess what? Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is a national dealer, and they're right here in our backyard. With Fox Valley Coins close by, you won't have to relinquish your personal information and money through the mail and hope that you receive what you ordered in the next days, weeks, or months. Most of the time at Fox Valley Coins, you just walk in the store, pick out what you want, pay for it, and walk out the door. It can be that easy. And if you're interested in selling your rare collector coins or currency, Fox Valley Coins specialize in the rare ones. Buying and selling individual coins and currency, as well as all gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and rhodium in coin, bar, and scrap form. They'll even make house calls when appropriate. Fox Valley Coins is one light north of I-88 on Route 59 in Naperville. They're closed on Sundays and have been dealing with integrity since 1981. Check out foxvalleycoins.com. That's foxvalleycoins.com.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So, what do you provide? Cookie-cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie-cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
It's 8:07, Team Hochberg Traffic Center time, and Jim Talamonte.
Northbound I-57 remains closed at Sibley, has been all morning. That's where all traffic is forced off. At 147th, traffic is jammed for 159. Bishop Ford, fairly light as an alternate, looking at about 23 minutes, 80-94 to the Ryan. Edens runs 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 49 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 28 from Montrose, 23 on the Express. Outbound 45 to the airport, but there's a crash at Foster on the right shoulder causing a jam. Eisenhower looking at 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 39. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan, 30 minutes from 95th. Northbound Veterans Memorial, fairly light, just a little heavy, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. I'm Gene Telemonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy with a high near 42. Clouds, rain or snow shower in spots. Breezy late tonight, low 30. Snow tomorrow morning, little or no accumulation. Clouds and breezy otherwise, the high 33. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
36 degrees at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and President Trump in his pre-Super Bowl interview with Sean Hannity yesterday had this to say about what the U.S. is doing to stem the spread of the coronavirus.
How concerned are you? Well, we pretty much shut it down coming in from China. We have a tremendous relationship with China, which is a very positive thing. Getting along with China, getting along with Russia, getting along with
Have you
these
offered
countries.
the Chinese president help with the coronavirus?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we're offering them tremendous help. We have the best in the world for that. We've done a tremendous job in many other instances also on that, even recently. No, we've offered China help. But we can't have thousands of people coming in who may have this problem, the coronavirus. So we're going to see what happens.
And so where are we in the count since you're running the ticker on this?
17,500 confirmed cases around the world, 11 here in the U.S., and 362 deaths.
For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Dana Chang, senior editor of China News for the Epoch Times. Dana, Epoch Times,
Yes.
Excuse me. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
So there's been some dispute about how helpful America is being with respect to the Chinese and their efforts to stop the spread of this virus. What's your handle on it from the reporting you've done?
Well, China has a long history that they are not open to Western help when there are crises. For example, in 1976, there was a big earthquake that killed 300,000 people. Mao at that time was not open to the help from the West. And today, China controls information very tightly, so they don't really welcome international medical experts to go there. Whether U.S. has medical team there, I hear different news, so I'm not sure.
Well, just in terms of them controlling information, since you brought that up, this is interesting. Zero Hedge, which is a popular sort of libertarian financial website, was permanently banned from Twitter over the weekend after it published an article questioning the involvement of a particular Chinese scientist in Wuhan with respect to the outbreak of this coronavirus. And social media, they have before, seems to be working in concert with the Chinese government, even informally, to crack down on so-called misinformation about the coronavirus that's spreading.
Well, I give you an example. A few days ago, a local person in Wuhan visited a hospital, and he recorded on the video that within 5 minutes, 8 dead bodies were shipped out of the door, and there were more in it. he uploaded this video, and then immediately a group of police broke into his apartment and took him away. So no one is supposed to say anything on the social media, not following the directive from the government. In fact, in December, there were information posted on, among friends circle that a SARS-like virus is circulating in Wuhan. And some of them, maybe all of them, were doctors. They post information on their doctors' social media circle. So by the end of the year, 8 people were arrested for spreading this alert.
Wow.
If they were allowed information, people will be prepared. People would learn to protect themselves. So 5 days before the lockdown, there were big party in Wuhan, and it's a potluck party that involved 40,000 people. That's 40,000 families. That's 130,000 people. That's only 5 days before the lockdown of Wuhan. So how widely spread those activities could be?
So the numbers.
That's all because there were. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're right. They could have. No, finish what you were going to say. They could have prevented this if they would have given out the information. But the information now that they're giving out, do you believe the numbers, or do you think they're much higher than, say, 17,500 with the disease and 365 dead?
Well, that's greatly underreported. At least, the real number is at least 10 times high. I give you an example. We have heard information that one funeral house in Wuhan has 14 furnace, like 14 oven to burn, to cremate the dead body, and it operates 24 hours.
That's consistent with what a nurse told the Daily Mail at the end of last week, too. She pegged the number at closer to 100,000. And what you're saying is consistent with New York Times and Washington Post reporting over the weekend about the steps that the Chinese government took in the beginning to tamp down alerts, to not spread information, to try to tightly control this, as the central planning communists will do, rather than to inform people and take the necessary evasive action to try and stop the spread of the virus. So all of that is consistent with the reporting. And so the question, but one of the questions I wanted to ask too, because now there's a lot of sort of theories that abound, as is often the case, and one specific theory revolves around this lab in Wuhan, this viral lab in Wuhan, and whether or not this was researchers doing biological warfare research, and somehow this virus was released.
I think if China is open to the international medical expert to investigate where is the source of this virus, it can be quickly discovered, the origin of the virus. Right now, it's mysterious. At the beginning, it was said it's from a seafood market, but in the medical report actually made by Chinese doctors, the first case on December 1st, that person had no exposure to the seafood market. So obviously, there are other sources.
Interesting. And so where is the Chinese government now in terms of what they're doing with this virus having spread as far and wide as it has? Are they taking some of the necessary actions that should have been taken? Are they being more open to Western help, or is it still the same protocol that it was at the beginning of this?
They are not so open, and they dare not to open. And that's why they closed the internet. They censor all the internet. They are afraid that the people would know the truth, and they put the so-called social stability first. And social stability is Communist Party's security. And they do everything to keep the Communist Party in power. So at this point, they take a very strong measure. The whole country is kind of like
on lockdown.
Right.
Well, that's what I was going to ask
Wuhan
you. Your friends and family that are in Wuhan and other cities that are on lockdown, how are they surviving? How are they getting through this? I'm hearing reports and reading reports of, there's no food on the shelves anymore. The Starbucks, McDonald's, everything's shut down and people are pretty much locked in their homes.
It's only 10 days. I haven't heard that people are starved to death, but there are a lot of deaths in their apartments. Majority of people are turned back by the hospital because the hospital cannot handle all the patients. So they are sent back home, and when they are sent back home, they are sent back to the community and their family members. So it's very dangerous. And we have heard more and more that people can collapse while walking on the street, and dead bodies were shipped out of their apartments. It's very sad.
She is Dana Chang. She's a senior editor of China News for the Epoch Times. Dana, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your insights.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Take care.
Thank you. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Spark ideas for spring home improvement at the Old House New House Home Show, February 7th through 9th at Pheasant Run in St. Charles. Explore the latest in kitchens, baths, basements, additions, and landscaping. Discover displays from hundreds of award-winning contractors, designers, and craftsmen. Connect with experts on solar energy, painting, patios, pergolas, roofing, waterproofing, windows, doors, flooring, and more. Meet special guest Mina Starziak-Hawk of the hit HGTV show Good Bones and the pond guy Greg Whitstock of Aquascape. Join Lou Manfredini for a live broadcast of his House Smarts radio program and discover design workshops on remodeling for resale, planning for pollinators, and kitchen and bath design trends. Update, decorate, and renovate home surroundings with the Old House New House Home Show. Adult admission is $7. Senior admission for ages 62 and over is $4. Children under 18 attend free and parking is free. A portion of the ticket proceeds benefits Habitat for Humanity of Northern Fox Valley. That's the Old House New House Home Show, February 7th through 9th at Pheasant Run in St. Charles. For event information, printable admission coupon, and advance tickets, visit KennedyProductions.com.
The weather outside might feel like winter. Didn't on Sunday, but it will. If you have school-age kids, though, you should be thinking about back-to-school season. And specifically, you should be thinking about where you'll be sending your kids to school this fall. If you've always felt like you didn't really have a chance to send your kids to a private school because of the cost, then listen up. We want to tell you about halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over Chicagoland offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. HalfPriceSchools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including Westminster Christian in Elgin, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights, and Chicago Hope Academy on the near west side of Chicago. Make private school a real option for your family for the first time this year. Don't wait, though. Many of these vouchers will sell out. Visit HalfPriceSchools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know logos work because they're on everything from the top of skyscrapers to the bottom of shoes. Ever wondered why? Or how to best use your logo to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away the latest issue of Amplify, the digital magazine that reveals promotional product success stories absolutely free to everyone who texts BOOST to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free e-magazine will reveal invaluable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, and grow your business. Get the latest issue of Amplify absolutely free by texting BOOST to 88988. That's BOOST to 88988.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Amanda Zanger, owner of Black Industrial and Safety Supply in Hammond, Indiana, and a business customer of Signature Bank. Prior to owning my own business, I worked for a major financial institution. So when it came time to finance the acquisition of Black, I approached a big bank, only to receive a solid no. That's when Signature Bank stepped in. With Signature Bank, the process was different. Signature provided creative financing options that enabled me to purchase Black and continue to grow the business. Thanks to Signature Bank, Black Industrial is able to continue serving Fortune 500 industry fabricators and contractors with tools and safety supplies as we have since 1893.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, all hail the Chiefs.
Chiefs are Super Bowl champions here in Miami as they win it here in Super Bowl 54.
Yeah, and Andy Reid and Coach O from LSU, they need to get together. They need to spend more time together. Perhaps dining companion.
I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Prime, the biggest one. And might be a double.
Yeah,
I think he's going to get a triple cheeseburger.
After toiling for so many years with the Eagles, not being able to win a Super Bowl, he has now with the Chiefs, who are located in Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, because President Trump tweeted out, just, because Kansas City thought they were in Kansas, saying the great state of Kansas should be very proud, and it's the great state of Missouri that should be very proud.
Yes.
But Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, right.
Right, yeah. But Patrick Mahomes, all smiles. He accomplished so much. He's not even 25 years old, Dan.
You're just the third African-American quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. What does your story, what does that message send to kids all across America?
I think it just means no matter where you come from, no matter how you were raised or what race you are, that you can go out and follow your dreams. And that's what I've always believed. No one thought I was going to be a football player. Everyone thought I was going to be a baseball player, but I followed my dreams, and now I'm here winning the Super Bowl with all my teammates.
Yeah, he is a special athlete that we're probably going to hear from for the next decade. And, of course, though, the big story was the halftime show and 93 years of ass that was shaken in front of you for 20 minutes.
Yeah, Shakira's 43 and J-Lo's 50. And, wow, she can ride a pole, man. I couldn't believe it. She was doing a scene from the movie The Hustler, which I actually saw yesterday. It was pretty good. Hustlers. Not bad. You should see it, Dan. I know you're rolling your eyes, but it's not that bad. But I was just people thought it was a little too much, little too much booty shaking. Some didn't like the Puerto Rican flag, but on the other side of the Puerto Rican flag, folks, was an American flag.
That's all swell. Yeah, I mean, like, what do you expect from the halftime show? And what do you expect from
lip syncing, girls dancing, and you got that. You got a lot of sex. Sex sells, Dan.
Yeah, it's just like a big dance number. It's like a big Broadway play number, except with people that can't sing.
But
That's
people
the
that can
difference between
sing
that and
is
Broadway.
Demi Lovato, and she sang the national anthem. And TMZ Sports caught Beyonce and Jay-Z and Blue Ivy, their daughter, sitting during the national anthem. They didn't take a knee, but they did not bother to stand up. And he owns part of the NFL. He's in on it with Roger Goodell. He's owner of.
He's like been brought on as like a strategic ally. He's being paid. He doesn't own the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, but he should have stood because this country has
whether
been very good.
Whether you're getting paid or not, he's a billionaire, right?
I know, but this country has been very good to them,
Mm-hmm.
and their fans haven't. Just sit down during the national anthem. Shame on them. And we don't know exactly what they were protesting yet. Maybe they'll let us know later, but I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm not.
Just stand. And then to do that in front of your daughter, who's 10 years old, what kind of lesson is that teaching her?
What kind of lesson is it naming her Blue Ivy?
Well, maybe they saw Ivy on the wall and they wanted it to be blue, and they was like, that's a good name for a child.
The ads, of course, was what was of most interest to, I suspect, most of the people watching. And you had the Trump ad that we played last week that was released before the Super Bowl, so you knew that was coming. But this one you didn't know was coming. You knew he had another ad, but you didn't know what it was going to be, and it was an interesting choice he made.
I'm free to hug my family. I'm free to start over. This is the greatest day of my life. My heart is just bursting with gratitude. I want to thank President Donald John Trump. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
And that was Alice Johnson, who Trump pardoned. And interesting choice to pick a example of compassion and criminal justice reform to make a national and international ad, to make that your choice for this, whatever it was, $6 million ad.
And Miss Johnson, she was they were pushing for her freedom, Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, because it was a nonviolent offense that she committed, and she got a maximum sentence for that, and they wanted it reduced, and she was released from prison, along with others.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was perfect, because people need to know that Trump cares about everybody.
It was an interesting choice, a bit of an asymmetrical choice. I liked it as well. Now, the worst ad.
Oh, which one?
The worst ad, I thought, and it's not that I don't not like these actors, but the accent. Oh, the Hyundai ad.
Because you got to park your car. That's why they chose them, because you're parking your car. Do you see why they did that?
Thank you for explaining it to me. Now I understand. The Hyundai self-parking car.
It's awesome.
Oh, look at this guy. Hey, Rachel, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Chris Evans, Rachel
not getting
Brad,
that car
John
in there.
Krasinski.
No, sir.
Look at these two troublemakers. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
Wicked car. Is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me pack it. Oh, you're not fitting your car in there. Chris, stop being a smarty pants, all right?
But it's true.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
Smart pack?
Just hit the clicker, car packs itself. It's smart. It's wicked smart. And I can pack it anywhere.
How about Dorchester?
Packed it. Foxborough. Packed it.
The Garden?
Packed it. Saugus? Packed it.
Swampscott?
Revere?
The Harbor?
Are you kidding me? I packed it and then unpacked it. You unpacked it? Kid. Game changer.
That Sonata ain't got no driver.
That's all right. He's got Smart Pack.
Hey, you can pack there.
He's got Smart pack!
Hey, whoa, it's Big Poppy.
Wicked smart.
This is a ghost car.
A better way to park. Only available on the all-new Sonata with remote smart parking assist.
Nice.
Sorry about that, your bigness. Did you guys know he lived there?
Nice
Poppy
cameo.
and Poppy. They're talking to Poppy and the Big Poppy.
Oh, really? Tell us who
because
Poppy
people,
is.
You're not seeing
Tell
the
us
commercial.
who that is. What's his name?
David Ortiz.
Oh, you looked that up.
I did not look that up.
Justin told you.
No, Justin didn't
You
tell
knew.
me.
You know who David Ortiz is. How do you know?
Well, he got shot in the Dominican Republic in a case of mistaken identity.
That's how you know, because he got shot, not because he played baseball.
He played baseball for the Boston Red Sox, and he's going to park his car. Now, you didn't like the Bill Murray commercial, which I absolutely thought was fantastic.
It's lame.
Him and the Gopher, they go for a ride. They go skating together. They become best buddies.
Oh, good. Now we don't have to play it because you painted such a word picture.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to social psychologist Aaron Pomeratz about the things that turn people into political hacks. Oh, this is a timely conversation at 8:38.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
We have sunshine for the moment, 36 degrees. Closing arguments in the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump begin soon. Senators will listen to both sides, make their final pitches beginning around 10 a.m. Chicago time. Then expect them to go on to the floor tomorrow to explain how they will vote. Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champions for head coach Andy Reid.
I told them that I'd coach another 20 years if I could have that group right there, man. They're a beautiful bunch, resilient, tough-minded, dirty, tough-minded, as you saw tonight. So I'm so proud of them.
Reid was the winningest NFL coach not to win a Super Bowl title until now. Chinese officials say an emergency hospital built in only 9 days will begin accepting its first patients today. The prefabricated hospital was built to house 1,000 patients. Democrat presidential nominating process finally gets underway today with the Iowa caucuses. Democrat presidential candidate Andrew Yang is surprisingly optimistic.
We think we're going to surprise a lot of people on Monday night, and we've got a ton of support in New Hampshire.
Joe Biden stopped in Cedar Rapids, Iowa yesterday.
Our politics have become so mean, so petty, so vicious. We need a president who can bring us together, a leader who can unite the party, unite our country.
Bernie Sanders, however, is your leader at the opening of the caucuses tonight. London authorities are identifying the terrorist suspect in Sunday's stabbing attack as 20-year-old Sudesh Aman. Aman was shot by police after attacking several people. The 20-year-old recently got out of prison after serving time for terrorism charges. One person found dead overnight after an apartment fire in Aurora. First responders arrived at a senior apartment complex just after midnight. The two-alarm fire was contained to one apartment. A 19-year-old man died after a shooting in Elmwood Park Sunday. The 19-year-old was shot outside of a home on North 77th Avenue. He was hospitalized. He died about 4 hours later. Police believe the victim knew the person who shot him. Apple is now offering iPhone repair house calls in 6 U.S. cities. The new service requires customers to schedule a repair on the company's support site, and so far services seem to be limited to screen repairs. It's available now in San Francisco, L.A., New York, Houston, Dallas, and Chicago. 19th ranked Illinois fell short in a big one in the Big Ten, 75-72-65 at number 18, Iowa. Professionally, the Bulls smoked by the Raptors in Toronto 129-102. The news service of Staples. At Staples, save up to 40% all month long on select chairs like desk or executive chairs for the office and gaming chairs for your home. If you're outfitting your home, your office, or your home office, hurry into your local Staples, where there's a whole lot more in store. Offer ends 2/29/20 while supplies last. Staples. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher warns the Democrats of November.
They're not going to be laughing the morning after the election. They weren't laughing the morning after the election in 2016. And they're not going to be laughing after the election in 2020. They're having a great time now. American people are paying attention. There is something happening in America, and it's not a happy ending for the Democrats.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I started taking the Balance of Nature, and I was actually lifting weights at the time, and I pulled out my rotor cuff, and I couldn't lift my arm. I had to take off from lifting weights for 8 weeks. During that time, I was taking the Balance of Nature, and everybody told me my shoulder was not going to heal, and I was not going to be able to lift anymore. And my shoulder actually healed, and when I went back to lifting weights, I didn't lose any strength. I definitely feel completely different. My hair feels better. My skin feels better. Overall, everything's better.
Don't wait to see what getting over 10 servings of whole fruits and vegetables every day can do for you. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. Start your journey to better health today by calling 1-800-2468-751 or by going to balanceofnature.com, and make sure to receive this special radio offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Raj Shah of SC Wealth Advisors. When you're working, you know what your paycheck's going to be on the 15th and the 30th of the month. But in retirement, you need to do the same thing as you have it structured now to have a solid income coming in the door every single month. Raj Shah and his team are growing, and the radio show is evolving too. Same interesting insight and advice on your financial health with a new name. Tune in to Unlock Your Wealth, Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
When it's cold outside, you can dress for it. But when your furnace gives out, hey, a blanket fort can only do so much. So call your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. We'll replace your old furnace with a new high-efficiency one. And that beats a bunch of blankets any day. Right now, cozy up to big savings on a complete heating system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
It is 8:36. Check on the roads in the Team Hochberg Traffic Center with Jim Telemonte.
In Elk Grove Village, land buyer remains blocked west of 83 due to a truck into a building. Northbound I-57 is still closed. Has been much of the morning at Sibley due to a major wreck. Traffic forced off there at Sibley or 147th and Harvey due to this collision. Bishop Ford is an alternate. Looks pretty good. It's only about 20 minutes from 80-94 to the Ryan. And the Ryan is 30 minutes 95th to downtown. Kennedy O'Hare to downtown, it's 49 minutes, 28 from Montrose, 23 in the Express. Outbound 30 minutes to O'Hare. Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown, 33 from Wolf. The Stevenson is running 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, cloudy and 42 today. Snow showers in spots overnight, low 30. More snow in the morning tomorrow, high 33. Partly sunny and 36 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560, The Answer, online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, on TuneIn, iHeart, and radio.com. Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and this is going to be a fun segment. I talked about this piece on my other show, but we haven't spoken to the author yet. 5 psychological forces that turn people into political hacks. You should know them so you can identify them when you experience them.
Okay.
Let's do a bit of an exercise here with Aaron Pomerantz, who is a social psychologist and doctoral candidate at the University of Oklahoma. Here is Whoopi Goldberg. Michael Bloomberg was on The View on Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't Joy Behar supporting him or somebody?
Yeah. She likes him very much. What interchangeable parts. Michael Bloomberg asked this question by Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. This is how Whoopi, how you conceive of sharing the American dream.
Oh, okay.
Here, listen.
Listen, I'm just trying to say, if you have an American dream, right? You have an American dream. Your grandmother started a ice cream parlor, and then some giant company comes in and sort of eats your mother's or your grandmother's American dream and continues to eat up so much of the real estate that you can't even get your American dream anymore. Do you think it is a good idea for them to say, because we've come in and we've eaten part of your neighborhood, we think your neighborhood should be a shareholder in this company that you are helping to support? Is that a good idea? That's what I'm asking.
They like that. I know I'm blonde, but can you help me?
Then
Who's
of course the
eating
trained
neighbors?
seals in that audience clapping along to that sentimental nonsense. So you have an ice cream parlor. Somebody else opens an ice cream parlor. Theirs is more successful than yours, and that you go out of business. Shouldn't you and everybody else in the neighborhood that has made that ice cream parlor successful then be a shareholder in that ice cream parlor? In other words, the ice cream parlor that's successful has to take everybody on as a shareholder. The other ice cream parlor that they outcompeted, as well as all of their customers. That's Whoopi Goldberg's vision of the American dream. For more on that, we're pleased to be joined by the aforesaid Aaron Pomerantz. He is also a contributor to FEE, which is where I read his piece about the psychological forces that turn people into political hacks, FEE.org. Aaron, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
So in addition to economic illiteracy, what is the psychological force that was most at display in Whoopi Goldberg's question to Mike Bloomberg?
Wow. Okay, so I could easily pick out a couple there. The one that comes the most to mind for me would be what I call it. I don't call it. It's the name of the theory. Construal level theory. There's 2 levels of thinking, basically, to make it simple. What we would call low construal level and high construal level, and the idea is distance. And this doesn't need to be, importance. It can be very important to you, but it can still be very distant from you. So it can be very abstract. People who don't have kids may still really want kids, but they may not have a really realistic idea of what it's like to have kids. I know this because I'm told this constantly. And, what Whoopi was saying sounds really great in the abstract, but, it's very pie in the sky thinking. There's going to be a lot of just basic problems to implementing that, and how would that look? So anyone who outcompetes anyone, you have to make them shareholders. How's that going to work? How's that going to look? How's that going to operate in really any economic system?
And the idea is
certainly ours.
And the idea is that when you construe something, I have this wonderful idea of what the world should look like. So I'm just going to imagine that we can make it so, And, those details about how you make it so and what the costs and benefits of trying to make it so, well, that's just something for us to, figure out after we all agree that we're going to make it so.
Well, yeah, I think you even saw that in the language she used with the American dream, quote unquote. And there's nothing wrong with having dreams. There's nothing wrong with high construal level thinking. It's great to have those ideals and move towards them. But, you have to have actual plans to realize things, and you have to think how they can go wrong. If you're only ever thinking in terms of that dream, in terms of that abstract, and wouldn't it be nice, nothing's ever going to get done. The problem is that they try to get things done.
And the other psychological factor or force that turns people into political hacks that's at play here too, from your piece, is heuristic thinking, and that's the American dream, right? That the mental shortcut.
Yeah, I think that's also quite true. We just think of, well, this would be the availability heuristic, right? We just think of something and we judge its likelihood based on how easily we can think of it. So, yeah, it's easy to think of that example. Oh, big, bad people coming into the neighborhood, gentrification, which can be a problem, obviously. But the sort of policy she's advocating, it's not going to end up helping people, right? It's going to end up with all sorts of unforeseen consequences. And just because it's a nice shortcut doesn't mean it's going to be a good solution.
Let me give you another example to analyze here, just because I want to make this concrete. So this is a local show here in Chicago, Fox affiliate in Chicago, political editor named Mike Flannery, interviewing two state senators in the wake of another Illinois politician pleading guilty to corruption charges, which happens about every other day. And Flannery, this guy Mike Flannery, asked the state senator named L.G. Sims about this senator that recently pled out to corruption charges. The senator he's talking to is the head of a newly formed ethics commission in state government.
I was very pleased to hear the governor talk. Listen, I'm disgusted and appalled and frankly embarrassed by some of the activities of some of my former colleagues. That's why the commission is so important. We have got to make sure that we are restoring trust in government. We are restoring the trust in us as individual legislators so we can get back to the business of governing, and that's what I want to do.
So those refrigerator magnet sayings, restore trust, get back to governance.
I'd again say that's just kind of high construal level thinking in a lot of ways. These are very abstract notions, and yes, they are very important. But what does that actually look like? How do we actually do this? Oh, we're going to form a commission. Admittedly, I'm not that old, but even I've been around long enough to realize that government commissions don't actually tend to do anything. It's like an internal affairs commission, right? Okay, so they're gonna find themselves guilty. I don't think that's likely. It's using this language of, if we just say the right thing and we sound idealistic enough, it sounds good, but where's the concrete plan? What are you actually going to do to address corruption? Because with any political problem, right? Everyone admits they're a problem. That's why we all talk about them, no matter what political ideology we hold. But very rarely do we actually hear a concrete plan for how to make them work. And I think that's probably because concrete plans are boring, right? And they're often going to have unfortunate consequences, or at least not be the happiest thing.
Yeah, speaking of plans, how do you break free from political tribalism? You mentioned that in your article.
I think one of the things that we all have to do, it's easy, and it's not even entirely unfair to easily blame politicians, whether it be Washington, D.C., Chicago. Down here, I think we just blame OKC. Back where I'm from, we blame Trenton or Princeton. But, it's always easy to blame those people out there, the politicians, the pundits, what have you. I think what we have to do is kind of be, it's a truism, but we have to do it. We have to be the change we want to see in the world, as, weird as that sounds and as Hallmark card-esque as that sounds. You have to kind of monitor yourself. When people are using high construal level rhetoric, which basically defines a campaign promise, no matter who's making it. We have to demand better of our candidates, of our local governments all the way to the top. We have to govern ourselves and make that resolution that we're not going to fall for this anymore and we're not going to accept this anymore. And, when one person does it, it's tempting to think that that's not going to have any difference or make any difference. But I think that if enough of us make that resolution, you're going to start seeing changes. People are no longer going to fall for this anymore. That would be how I would say it.
And one of the other psychological forces is essentially the ad hominem, the use of name calling to dismiss people with whom you disagree.
Yeah, I think that's a really big one, and it's become really popular, and both sides do it, and I think it's really especially popular online. But I see it bleeding into the real world too, quote unquote real world, and you can't just dismiss people by name calling, because then you're not gonna change anyone's mind just because you called them a socialist, or you called them a fascist, or you called them a Trumpkin, or whatever. Pick your political epithet. There are plenty of them, right? You're not going to change anyone's mind. If anything, you're probably going to make them dig in deeper and keep doing the thing you don't want them to do. If we want to stop tribalism, we have to kind of sit down together. And yeah, there's going to be ideological differences that I'm not saying they're going to disappear just because we all treat each other nicely. There's going to be ideology that we need to hash out, and there's going to be differences to hash out. But I think to start that conversation, and I don't think that conversation's happening, to start that conversation, we need to leave that ad hominem behind us and engage with the people around us, and especially the people with whom we disagree, and agree on these core principles of, at the very least, hey, maybe we should talk about low control level. Maybe we should talk about concrete plans. Maybe we should agree to not use heuristics or mental shortcuts when we make political decisions. And I think that will at least end some of the tribalism. There will still be healthy debate, of course, but there will be a lot less throat grabbing, I would hope, at least.
He is Aaron Pomerantz, social psychologist and doctoral candidate at the University of Oklahoma. He's also one of the hosts of Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Snarkiness, a liberty-oriented interdisciplinary podcast. Aaron, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by, making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people they're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a large portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-797-5868. 800-797-5868. That's 800-797-5868.
I just did it. Took my daily dose of Balance of Nature. I put 3 fruit tablets and 3 vegetable tablets in warm water and drink it, and I just love it. It's helped boosting my immune system. And think about it. Right now, we're just over a month into 2020. It seems like everyone is getting sick, from the common cold to the flu, and you don't want to get me started about the coronavirus. And you know how staying healthy this year is important. And to do that, you have to boost your immune system, get plenty of sleep, but also you have to eat well. And that means getting enough fruits and veggies in your diet. How many fruits and veggies did you have yesterday, Dan, at your Super Bowl party? Guacamole, I don't know if it counts.
I had chili and chicken tenders.
See? Not enough fruits and veggies in your diet. And think about it. With just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. You hear stories all all the time on this station about people's lives, how it's changed by taking Balance of Nature. And guess what? The next story could be yours, but you've got to order Balance of Nature today. And here's what you do. If you go to balanceofnature.com, type Chicago and the discount code, 35% off and free shipping. Do it now, folks. Start your journey to better health today. Call 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
This is Michael Medved at michaelmedved.com for Town Hall. As the presidential campaign heats up, leaders over 70 control our politics. If Trump wins re-election, he'd be 78 at his term's end, the oldest president ever. Elizabeth Warren would be 75. Joe Biden and Michael Bloomberg would both be 81. And Bernie Sanders, well, he'd hit 83. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House Pelosi is already 79 and Senate Leader Mitch McConnell 77. New York Attorney Thomas Dewey notes this domination by senior citizens is something new. Bill Clinton took office at age 46 and George W. Bush followed him at 54, beating the 52-year-old Vice President Al Gore. Mr. Dewey seems puzzled by these contrasts, but they actually reflect the unshakable domination of government and culture by baby boomers, who ruled the roost in their 50s and still hold sway in their 70s. Members of this post-war population bulge could still reign past their 80s, or, more plausibly, 2020 will be their last hurrah.
Sponsored by Alliance Defending Freedom. AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Since we were talking a little bit about Chicago there and that intellectual exercise we did with Aaron Pomerantz, did you see this? Illinois State Police searched Speaker Madigan's office.
Oh.
Wait for it.
Looky here, for what?
New development. Part of an investigation into sexual misconduct, stalking, and other allegations against former state rep Jack Franks.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What did he allegedly do?
I don't know what he allegedly did, but we know the category in which they're investigating a allegation. Sexual misconduct, stalking, and other allegations against former state representative Jack Franks. Oh, Jack Franks up there in McHenry County. Isn't he McHenry County chairman of the board now? They left the state legislature? Yeah, he is. Isn't he this Democrat that was supported by Republicans forever in McHenry County? Isn't he this Democrat, Madigan lackey, who pretended he was this independent, reform-minded legislator who supported gun rights because he's up in McHenry County and he's against tax increases, and he's somebody you can work with. He's moderate Democrat, sort of, kind of cool and hip and not part of the machine because he said so, but he always voted for Madigan for speaker every time he was returned to Springfield by a county that goes 60% plus for the Republican candidate for president every cycle and for governor, just about every cycle. How about that, Jack Franks? How about that?
Yeah, he told me
another media darling too.
Denies any wrongdoings and wasn't sure who might have made allegations against him. Oh, they think it wasn't me.
Another Chicago media darling. Now again, it's just an allegation, But I know, depending on who is the subject of the allegation, people are very happy to rush to judgment. So I just, all those people that made Jack Franks a little media darling were trying to pump him up so he could run for statewide office and followed along with his bull jive about being some kind of independent Democrat. Are you going to follow this story too? You're going to follow it to its conclusion? You're going to provide the same amplification of whatever the results of this story are that you did in terms of helping him to create this phony baloney image that helped snooker a bunch of Republicans in McHenry County who would return him to office every cycle for the better part of 2 decades?
Well, the Sun-Times obtained a copy of the warrant. Ooh, wow. Probable cause exists for the crime of sexual abuse, sexual assault, official misconduct, stalking, and aggravated battery. So that's a lot to throw at one's plate. And the fact that they Illinois State Police executed a search warrant in Mike Madigan's Capitol office. I mean, what information does Mike Madigan have there about
Well,
this?
the important thing is that Mike Madigan doesn't go away. You know why? I mean, Mike Madigan, stays as House Speaker. That's really important. It's important for the future of the Republican Party. Because if Mike Madigan were to retire or to be taken out in cuffs, what would happen to the Republican Party? They would have no reason to exist. The only thing that they've said for the better part of the last 20 years is we're not Mike Madigan. How do you define yourself? What's the Republican Party stand for in Illinois? We're not Mike Madigan. Oh, it's interesting. What does your kid do for a living? He's not a drug dealer. Is that the way you answer that question? That's the way the Illinois Republican Party answers the question about their identity and what they do. We're not Mike Madigan. So heavens to Betsy, please, federal and state authorities, protect Mike Madigan in order to keep, Durkin and Brady and the Republican Party existing, at least on paper. Because if he goes away, they'll formally shrivel up into a little ball and blow away.
Well, Madigan's office said it did receive in 2018 allegations of sexual harassment by a former state rep against Franks.
Yeah, well, the good news is there's a commission, L.G. Sims and John Curran, who's another, feckless, silly little Republican in the state Senate in a caucus that could fit in a phone booth. They're all about ethics reforms and blah, 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 because they're serious people interested in good governance. Okay. Let me tell you something. Of the 177 state legislators in Illinois, and I know most of them, maybe it would be a reach to get to 24 who on any given day ever exercise anything resembling courage, leadership, stand on any principle whatsoever over the course of a legislative session. Maybe 24. But, of course, we're all going to buy the L.G. Sims rhetoric about an ethics commission and Governor Jelly Belly about, banging the gavel about reforming the way the General Assembly does business. Sure we are. But whatever happens, leave Madigan there so the Republican Party still has something to talk about.
Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick and to Quinn McCarthy, who is
Iowa caucus poll watcher.
There you go. We're back here bright and early.